at ESPNLA.com. Your chance finally to purchase Mandy's 3 tickets for the biggest night of the year. Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. It is the Travis and Sliwa Show. Slee not here, a little under the weather. Andy Kamenetsky back again. No, it's not clap-worthy.
Would it be inappropriate for me to ask you to set aside maybe 10 or 12 for me for the Mandys?
You've got 1. It is very tight this year because we wanted to make the experience.
1? I don't get a +1?
No, you get 1.
Oh.
Plus 1 if you want.
Okay.
But that's tentative. That's not approved yet. We got to see how this goes. Because this year we're going all out. I'm breaking the budget. And trust me, they remind me on the other side of the building. Because last year we listened to the feedback. And we had an amazing show. I mean, the Kamenetskys took 15 extra minutes. But
I thought you were funny, Andy.
Let's not go into that again. The point was...
I mean, I can't think of who brings it up more than you. But
well, I'm trying to keep you top of mind.
Thank you.
So you should be thanking me.
You're welcome.
Well,
Nevertheless.
You should always be thanking Chris for something or other.
Nevertheless, we listened to the feedback from a lot of you that attended the Mandys. It was tough to get a drink. It was tough to get a bottle of water. We've hopefully tackled all that, and the Commerce Casino is providing like 40 times the amount of bartenders and everything for this year. It's a bigger location.
So 40.
Everybody is going to be at tables. Okay, I know that was some of the feedback from last year. It was tough to sit through a 3.5-hour show. We're only 3 hours and 50 minutes because of the cams. On a seat. So everybody will be at tables this year, just like Mandy's won. Everybody will have dinner and 2 cocktails included in your ticket.
All right.
We've got some fun giveaways, some fun raffle prizes. The great East LA band Tierra. Now, the Salas brothers passed away, unfortunately. Rudy and Steve Salas, they created the band. Of course, they did the song together and many others. Their sons have taken over, so Tierra Legacy is going to be performing ahead of time. DJ Ray from the Lakers is going to be there, mixing the tunes and helping me MC. It's going to be a night to remember. We got some special announcements, some special surprise guests. Ooh. We're going all out. And in 29 minutes, you can buy your tickets at ESPNLA.com.
Just 1.
You have a +1.
Buy your ticket.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna preload the website and I'll hit enter at 10:30 on the button.
You and Slee told me your +1s weren't coming this year. You can't make that kind of joke anymore.
All right.
You're just too popular, man.
Well, I understand. Well,
does Susan really want to come?
There's some stuff going on in the universe.
So that's out. Anyway, and I think Lady Slee's out. So we're going to take those 2 tickets and sell them.
Wow. No, put 1 aside for me. I need a +1. Give me the one that you had allocated for me. I need the one.
No, it's
Bobby.
It's either Susan or bust.
Okay.
So if it's not Susan, you're not getting a +1.
It will probably be Susan.
Susan.
Probably.
I don't need
her.
Bobby there.
Well, Bobby's pretty fun. He's pretty fun.
He's too fun.
There's a shoes rule.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's dressed to impress.
So yesterday, I figured out whose fault that is. Like, for the first time in my life, I had some clarity on the whole shoes thing. We came up here to watch the premiere of Clipped last night across the street, which is absolutely terrific, which we'll talk about at some point today. We get all the way up here, and Susan's like, yeah, I got to put my shoes on. I'm like, we've just been in the car for an hour and 20 minutes. What do you mean your shoes aren't on? The whole thing.
Did you really say that to her?
Yes. And then she did all of her makeup. And all, it's like we had an entire ride up here. The entire thing was ridiculous.
Doing your makeup while on a bumpy freeway is not ideal.
It wasn't a surprise that we were going.
Okay.
It wasn't a surprise that we were going to come to this thing. We were home all day long.
Did she have work that she had to do?
No.
Okay, well, then I can't defend her.
Did you also tell her that you're responsible for all the WNBA hype on First Take, or was that somebody else?
Was that my fault?
No, it's the story that was huge yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
it was a joke.
I guess there was a good.
Andy got it, I guess.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if I was going to miss a day, that's the day to miss. But I mean,
yeah, there was
okay.
a lot going on our network Monday.
Okay. What do you want from me?
A lot happening.
But you guys look nice. I saw your post on Instagram.
How did I do?
It was fine.
It's not.
Who were
But you look nice.
Nordstrom, I believe.
It was the same suit. I mean.
No, it wasn't my suit. It was a sports coat.
Oh, really?
Sports coat and jeans.
So wait a minute. Hold on for a second. You got a sports coat that looks exactly like the suit?
No, they're very different.
Not very different.
They're very different.
Are we going to say that I would notice suits?
Yes.
Okay. But so when I saw the picture.
In this case, you're wrong.
Is it that same sports jacket that you're in that picture in Houston of us when we were much skinnier in 2010?
That one I'd be swimming in a little bit.
Okay.
No, this is a light gray sports coat. My
What
suit,
color is the suit?
Gray.
Okay. Just wanted to point that out for
But
everyone.
the finish is very different.
The finish.
Yes, you're the suit guy. Isn't that the right word? The finish on the suit? Like
I've never used that word, the finish. I would just say the design or the
design is different too, but it's like
coloring.
the suit has a little bit of a texture to it that the sport coat
Now,
does
I
not.
think you should have shown up in all white as an homage to
the white party.
parties.
It is in the opening episode.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it is
tremendous.
It is there.
Tremendous.
and it debuts tonight on Hulu with
Actually,
FX.
interesting. I was just thinking about the debuts of both Winning Time and Clipped featured the Donald Sterling white parties.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when Magic was at the
And he
white
played
party.
one-on-one with Norm Nixon.
So we're getting questions now, 805 Raider, about, so if you didn't attend Mandy's one, you wouldn't know how do you buy the tables. So on the website, when you go to buy your ticket in 25 minutes at espnla.com, you basically select the tickets at the table. It's very similar to buying tickets at a concert. And 805 Raider asks, who do you know who you're sitting with? Well, that's part of the fun. Now, you could also buy,
roulette wheel of partners.
you could also buy a table, like some of our audience is going to do. I know the COT and the Mason and Ireland Mafia are planning to buy tables with all their listeners and all their fans and stuff. So you can do that too. But if you just pick a ticket, guess what? You're going to be with fans of the Mandy Awards because they're there.
If you're coming
Make
to the
new
show,
friends.
you're going to be with like-minded folks.
Maybe you make new love acquaintances.
Probably you're going to meet some of the people that you have interacted with over Twitter, over social media about these very shows. You will meet these people in real life.
They introduce themselves with their Twitter handles, which I like, because they'll come up and say, my name's Mike. And I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, Mike. And then they'll drop their, I'm like, oh, I know you.
Yeah,
I know him from
exactly.
the Twitter handle much more than the name. So I'm looking forward to it. Now that I know I got as many tickets as I need for the event.
You got one.
Plus 5, 6.
No.
I got a whole crew of people I'd like to bring. I bring people every year.
Well, then they can buy a ticket in 24 minutes.
No, they rely on me to do these things for them.
Well, then you could buy a ticket in 24 minutes.
Now, last year I took a shot at you in my monologue about how you didn't win in year one. And then the first award we gave, you
Bam.
won. Man of the People. So I got to figure out what shot I'm going to take at you this year.
I have a feeling you're not going to have to struggle to find one.
I don't know.
This is your area of expertise.
We know Mason wants that host of the year. I'm pulling for Slee to repeat. I want Slee to repeat. If for no other reason than Slee deserves it. He puts up with a lot. But also because nothing will burn Mace more. Not only losing yet again, but losing now, and Sliwa's got 2. So Cappy's got 1 and Sliwa's got 2. It wasn't like if Sedano wins or Ireland wins or you win, it's kind of like, oh, new blood. If it's not new blood, that burns Mace even more.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Particularly Sliwa blood. Like if it's Sliwa blood,
that one I think
is
is the one that would probably bother him the most.
I think
Yes.
Cappy, too, will bother him quite a bit.
Any repeat winner will.
Yeah, but
probably-
Cappy's like a cult figure. Like at some point, like Cappy's
So is
got
Slee. Look at his following. I mean, we were just going over it in this meeting. Slee's like YouTube following on his own is incredible. So I think Slee's got quite the cult following. That's why he's winning, frankly. That's why Mace, people seem to love Sliwa's YouTube content more than the Culture Pop podcast. Just saying.
I mean, Mace probably shows too much skin for his own good in some of these videos that he puts.
Or
Some
maybe
of
not
his
enough.
photos.
Or maybe not enough.
Hey, Mace.
Well, maybe it's a different audience.
Yeah, I don't know. Slee doesn't campaign on the air.
No.
So maybe he's sneaky. Is he campaigning on his YouTube
He
channel?
campaigns on his YouTube show and his soundproof black hole that he does his,
His secret location?
Lakers
His
Daily. Is
secure
that what it's called? I don't know.
Lakers Talk Daily, yes.
Yeah.
No,
He's
but
a
like
wet
what?
boy.
He is a wet boy.
Hoops Talk, I believe, is what it's
Hoops
called.
Talk. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he campaign on that?
I know he did last year.
Okay. Well, so he's running like a shadow campaign.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the Hoops
He's
Talk. guys.
downplaying the whole thing. It doesn't matter
and
to
just
him.
aggressively courting the YouTube
Giving
market.
away Hoops Talk audience prizes, things like that.
You'll get a free Patreon if you.
Hey, it worked. Whatever it was, it worked. For
Eddie
him.
Jones trading cards.
How many are you
personal
up for?
collection.
You're on a handful.
2.
2 personality, which you are
Personality.
the defending champion
I
of.
would like to win that back-to-back. I'm
And
gonna be
what
honest.
is the second one?
Most hated, which I would also like to win.
Yeah, quite frankly, that's probably the one that would be your preference if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was inspired by the Mason Ireland Reddit page.
Where does your Mandy live in your home? Or is it in your office?
They're in my office.
Okay. I figure that should be like in your bar, in a position of honor in your home. So
I
every day you wake up and you're like, I need to get another one of those.
I like when Mace comes in to talk, and I just go, hey, by the way, what are those? You know what I mean?
It's like the Laker office where they have all the Larry O'Brien trophies lined up.
I mean, Lindsay has them staring at me.
No, I see
doing
hers
my
every day.
motivation every single
that's
day
true.
to win Producer of the Year.
Have you campaigned actively yet? I know that we've been talking about you winning, but have you been, aggressively stating your case?
I've been letting my work speak for itself.
Okay,
And I've been having
but
my
that is
coworkers
not
speak for
borne
me.
fruit so far. So maybe
Okay.
you need to pitch more actively.
I think the interesting question is how many Mandy Awards will I have by the time the Lakers had a Larry O'Brien? I might actually be retired from here by the time they actually
You'll have
win.
more than the Larry O'Briens that they have.
exactly.
You'll have a picket fence full of them. They got a ways to go.
It's so, I can't stand Kyrie, but rooting for
Pretty
Kyrie.
good right now.
Rooting for Kyrie just to burn LeBron is like my new fun bit. It's so good.
It
Because
never,
you know it's going to sting.
it never goes that way if he comes here. Never.
Of course not, but everybody doesn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no. If he comes to L.A. and he had joined the Lakers, Andy, the result that you're seeing now, where he has been just terrific. There's no other way to describe how he's been. He's been fantastic. They don't get that version of that guy.
We were talking about that a little bit yesterday. Like, either one of these results, I think, has the potential to piss off Laker fans. Celtics, obvious reasons. But if the Mavericks win, I think Laker fans are going to go from, in the beginning, excited because the Celtics lost, to then thinking about, okay, this could have been us with Kyrie. The moves that the Mavericks made for P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford at the deadline, going all in, those were the type of moves the Lakers didn't make. Is it as clean as I think a lot of these Laker fans are thinking about it? No.
Not a chance.
But that
Laker
doesn't-
fans delusional?
But that
When?
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like, there is a potential for either one of these results to, in the end, really bother Laker fans.
The structure that has allowed him to thrive in Dallas does not exist here.
Luka's how old?
24, 5? Something
So
like
not
that.
40.
He is not 40.
Not yet. He is not quite hit
Just
his 40th
checking.
birthday.
I'm just checking.
Yeah, I will be in my mid-60s by the time he hits 40.
I know. It's so
late,
depressing.
late 60s, potentially. Well, hold on. Is he 25? That's 50. Oh, yeah. I'll be in my late 60s by the time he's LeBron's age. I'll be long gone. I'll be living in my
Long gone.
We were talking about this. Like, we got to find a trailer somewhere. That's my ideal thing. I
That's
want to
the end
find
goal?
small but very nice. I need a small little space where plenty of room for me and Sue, but that's it. Like, I don't need any visitors. I don't need any grass.
Are you going to be like Anderson and Beavis and Butthead Do America? Driving across the country with your trailer?
No, I don't. It's going to be up on blocks. It's not going to be
Oh, so,
mobile.
so you're going to live in a trailer park?
Yes.
Oh.
A nice one.
What?
Yeah. That's what I want. Like, just, I don't.
If there is one person on this planet that I couldn't imagine dealing with trailer parks and trailer park potential people, would be you.
You're thinking of a very specific type of trailer park.
There's still people that you will not mesh with.
Well,
You live in a place where
Go on.
I'm not going to go on. I'm just going to say that Jorge and I, we get nervous driving through your neighborhood.
Stop. You
Okay?
say that every
and
time.
now you're
It's
going to
just
like,
simply
I'm
not
just going to
true.
live in a trailer park.
Now, when Jorge was cleaning out his shrimp out of the back of his car, that was
I was detailing your car.
Jorge got 10 different job offers.
Exactly.
He's taking the hose from the side of my house. He's going to the side of his car, hosing out the shrimp juice. It
Like,
was
how much do you charge, bro?
little small little place.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, you live in a very large home now.
Yeah,
So how
it's
are you?
nice.
You're going to convert?
I had 3 kids. I don't have any kids. I mean, they still exist, but I'm not going to have
and
to
what?
house them.
Susan's going to
She's-
do holidays in the trailer park.
She objects strenuously.
I would
So it's an uphill battle, Chris, but it's one that I'm willing to fight.
Susan is a person who has the coaster landing underneath your glass as you're putting it down. And no, she's
She's
just
a
going to
lovely hostess.
amazing hostess. But the holidays are just going to be at the trailer park. Yeah, I can
Well,
see.
no, we'll go to one of the kids' house. Hopefully by then they've got their stuff sorted out.
When are you buying the kids a house?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Well, no, aren't you going to pass this on to them? You're not going to cash out, are you?
No, I think maybe we'll Airbnb it. So that it'll be my retirement.
Which of
day.
the 3 kids gets the trailers when you're both gone?
They can fight over it. I'm going to leave an ambiguous state.
In this day and age, your kids ain't buying a home anytime soon.
Well, you never know. You never know.
I know.
Well, I mean, you never
Personally.
know. You never know. You can come to the trailer park, Andy.
Nice.
You can come over and hang.
Like, how off the grid do you plan to be? Like, any Wi-Fi? Any
Oh yeah, no. I'm not. I don't want to be off the grid. I just don't want to be.
stockpiling bullets?
No,
Like, what are we doing?
it's not. I'm not a survivalist. I'm not a hoarder. I just want a small, tidy, orderly thing that I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to keep up on. That's it. That's my goal.
So you're going to live in a tube.
Susan says no. She goes, we're going to stay here. I said, I don't want to work as a Walmart greeter when I'm 70. I don't want to do that. I want to be
Check the
somewhere
receipts,
else.
put the little
right?
highlighter mark on there.
Costco would be better because then I could nibble on the samples. We could do that.
Oh God, those people.
What do you mean?
I can't stand the sample nibblers.
Why?
Really, I just don't like it. They
Oh,
get
you
in
don't
the
have to
way.
have any.
It gets so compressed. It's
Dude,
hard
well,
to get in and out.
You got to know the flow. You got to go around the outside. So
No, I know.
but
sometimes I have to go on the inside, and then I'm like, no.
The wine's in the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
the meats.
Yeah. Well, the meats are in the butcher.
Well, yeah, but they're usually kind of go down the middle.
But the
to
butcher area just is overwhelming.
Well, they got samples over there. Usually cheese and meats.
When I walk in on a Saturday and I need a tri-tip and adult wipes, you like to be fresh.
You don't have to do the hand gesture.
That is like madness to try to go and then like I'm holding a pack of tri-tip and like waiting in line to get to the box now, and then you get to the line. Oh, it's just so much.
Do you go flatbed or do you go cart?
I've only gone flatbed once. And I think I was buying like furniture or something.
Yeah, television. Yeah, the flatbed is surprisingly roomy.
You're doing flatbed? But here's
about
the
half the time.
I like to park way out because I don't
Yeah.
want to deal with it.
Right,
so I
sure.
try to find the furthest parking spot.
Uh-huh.
So I don't mind walking, right? The flatbed, that's a bumpy ride.
Yeah, because the wheels are in the middle.
Because I go to the
it's a weird
Fullerton
design.
one, and there's like traction in the roads, so like speed bumps. So you got to push that flatbed over.
Gotta
and
get some momentum.
You may lose it, oh boy. All right, 15 minutes until tickets go on sale. ESPNLA.com for Mandy's 3, the biggest party we throw all year. Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino.
All right, a little Shohei Otani breaking news coming up next. It's Trav and Slee on a Mandy's ticket for sale day. It's Mandy's in for Slee, 710 ESPN.
You don't believe me? 10 minutes away from Mandy's 3 tickets going on sale at ESPNLA.com.
Doesn't everybody?
No. No, sometimes I don't. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Let's move on. Feel like Brian Gumbel in Real Sports. Let's move on.
That's
And
what they say.
You got to be built for speed, homeboy. 10:20.
When speed is necessary.
On a
called
live
for.
imaging Tuesday, presented by Kia of downtown Los Angeles. Mandy's 3 tickets go on sale in 10 minutes. ESPNLA.com. Get your tickets. You know they're going to sell out. Every year they sell out in one day. So don't make the mistake that others make. Because it's tight this year. It's tight. So it's going to go fast.
How many do you need, Andy? Just ask Chris.
Andy and
He'll hook
Brian
you up.
get them. They're in.
Just get our one.
They're each other's plus one.
Look,
Exactly.
we just get our one, and then from there, we just prep our roast.
Quick question for you. What arena was it, the one that said Andy/Brian coming? Because they didn't know who was coming.
Oh, it was the Coliseum, I think. I think it was the Coliseum when we did Rams games. They weren't sure who would be going, so they just put on our name tag thing
On
at
the
the
list,
seat.
yeah.
On the list. It just said Andy Brian Kamenetsky.
Like you had one name?
Yes. Like
Was
we
there
had
at
one
least
name.
a slash, or was it just Andy Bryan?
I think there was a slash.
Okay. That's a little better. Because Andy Bryan's not a bad name, but that could be your third brother. Like that guy who shows up at the Mandy's.
Oh,
every year.
Steven. Steven will be there.
Steven's there all the time.
Steven.
He was there at the pickleball.
It is unsettling how much he looks like Brian.
With Mandy's one, where I'm on the red carpet doing the pictures, and I see Steven coming at me, and I'm like, wow, BK looks a little different. Like I can't quite put my finger on, and he got within 5 feet of me before I realized it wasn't
it's
your brother.
truly uncanny how much they look alike. It is, again, unsettling.
Now, tickets will be $49. That is less than last year. And each ticket includes you're sitting at a table with your friends. You are getting dinner, which they're doing a whole cookout in the back outside. So that
Okay.
real flame, high flame action in the back outside.
Okay,
A
Flame.
live fire
Yeah.
at the Mandy's. This is exciting.
Fuego.
Fire.
I feel safer already.
So each
There's
ticket
an open flame. All right.
Each ticket includes the meet and greet, of course, with all the personalities, all of us ahead of time. And that's going to be different this year. So we're all going to be in one room. So everybody can. So you kind of walk down and you just take all kinds of pictures. Everybody's going to be in there. Everybody.
wait.
We're not going to do the time thing because then it was just all disjointed. You know, because Mace ran late. Keyshawn was getting drunk upstairs. Like, it was a whole thing.
No.
No, never.
No, come on, Keith.
So $49, every ticket is the same price. You get on in. It includes dinner and 2 cocktails. Okay. So,
Dealer's choice?
yeah. You get 2 tickets.
You can get a glass of wine. You can get a beer. You can get a Jack and Coke. You can get a martini. You can get
tequila
whatever
mandala.
you want.
Always
Tequila
swipe right.
mandala.
Whatever you want. So each ticket,
Forgot
dinner
about the tequila mandala.
and 2 tickets and 2 drink tickets. Plus, we're going to have some fun giveaways to give away as well on every seat inside. You're going to enjoy that. Plus, so you're going to go home with a little goodie pack is what's going to happen. Plus, chances of great raffle prizes from all of our partners. So it's going to be a fun night. It's Saturday, September 22nd at the Commerce Casino. 7 minutes remain. ESPNLA.com. Get your tickets. Get ready. Log onto the website. Get your credit card ready. Get ready to select your seats or maybe buy a table for all your friends and organize it and say, hey, we're going to press the flesh with everybody. Mandy's 3. By the way, you can still vote, too, at ESPNLA.com. Voting doesn't stop.
Vote for Emily.
Yeah, vote for Emily.
She has deserved one for a while. This is the year that we get you across the finish line. But
Yeah, she's here every day.
I have a pitch that I can do for the
I was just
going to
say, you need to make an active campaign starting today.
Okay, here is my active campaign starting today. So we take your calls. We are a show that doesn't hate your calls. We don't hate you. We love your calls. We want your calls to be great. We want to
The
participate
Travis
with
Lee
you.
Show. We don't hate you.
Yeah, exactly. We don't hate you.
I like that.
We have we had our Job in Simi Valley. They got us on awful announcing. That we have that. We have classic callers that come in. So call in all day, every day. I'll take your calls to prove that I'm the producer of the year. Also,
Wow.
we have awesome new segments that we introduced over the past 365 days. We got Snake Draft, that's great. We got Rabbit Hole, that's great. We got Hot and Cold, that's great. I try to make the show fresh and new as often as I can because I know that we all get a little tired sometimes of the same old thing. So trying that stuff out.
That is a decent pitch, but Jorge, I would like to counter her pitch with Funch's pitch from a few weeks back, where he just said, "Well, I'm here."
So you're saying you're creating new features and not trying to pitch in a meeting fast track every year for like the last 20 years.
And we don't hate you.
The Travis and Sliwa show. We don't hate you.
And
I love it.
It's fantastic.
We
hear you.
I am consistently. Our show always has either our full 3-hour show or sometimes we get a little bit of a lunch combo plate. But I'm here every day. I have our show every day, and so you can always rest in consistency that I'm always here.
Chris, I have a question. This is coming from the Travis and Sliwa community. Apologies if you've already said this, but is there an access code or something like that for purchasing Mandy's that people
No.
need to
So
be
the
aware
reason
of?
why you're seeing an access code is you're logging on before it opens.
Oh, okay.
So we have it protected. You see, we've made some changes from last year's little games that went on where people were sneaking in.
Were there
early.
shenanigans?
There were shenanigans caused by internal teammates. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But this year, if you went on to ESPNLA.com right now, click the logo, it's going to say password locked. So at 10:30, in about 4 minutes, we're going to unlock that.
Hang in there, Marlon.
Bam!
Give me the password so I can send it to my buddies. They want to come. That way I can just take it off your plate. You don't have to worry about getting me my extras. That I can just make sure that I take care of it directly.
Are they going to buy a table?
No, I'm going to hook them up.
Hook them up how?
You're going to give me tickets that I'm going to give to them.
Not happening this year. They're going to have to buy them. What? They're rich.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No.
You're rich. You buy
No,
them
stop.
tickets.
You don't have to be rich to buy these tickets, though. They're reasonably
They're
priced. At
$49.
Well, if you got to buy a whole
2
table.
drink tickets
And dinner.
and dinner.
Plus accoutrement.
Accoutrement.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Special
Meet and
guests.
greet.
I am curious.
A live
about special
band.
guests. Live band.
DJ Ray.
DJ Ray.
Chris Morales.
It's exciting.
I am excited.
I know you are. We
And
got
this year we are so
3.5
far
minutes.
behind in preparation that it's bound to be
Have
amazing.
you worked on your material yet?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
When do you start?
Well, I was looking through like our photo memories, on Apple
Sure.
or Google Photos, and I see all these pictures of like Jorge and I planning at the same timeline. The last 2 years, we've done none of those. So that means it's going to be amazing. Because this year, I just wanted to wing it anyway. We always do a lot of rehearsals. We have to do one rehearsal for the lighting to make sure we have all the video clips. But other than that, I'm coming out raw. I'm coming out. What?
I'll
She
never
said,
unsee
don't
that.
say it like that.
No, it's going to be like when Chris Rock, or Dennis Miller raw, somebody raw.
I think it was Chris Rock. Raw.
It was Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy was raw.
Well, I won't go that far, but I'm not in that same sphere. I was going to give myself like Dennis Miller, maybe, but anyway, we're coming out unlocked.
Hey, babe. That was
loaded.
more Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, have you heard Cappy's Sammy Davis Jr.?
I have not
It's
had
amazing.
the pleasure.
I have a feeling we'll get.
Does
him
he
to do it
sing
in a
like Mr. Bojangles or something?
play it,
What does
we'll
he?
play
What
it.
does he
Dennis
do?
Miller did a lot of Babe, too.
Yeah, hey babe. He did. That was a lot of
babe.
Weekend Update stuff. Hey
Good
babe.
joke there, babe.
Mandy's 3. Anything goes. That's exactly what it is.
No, it's probably.
You're gonna wing it?
No.
I'm going to wing a lot of it.
No.
No.
And I'm wearing there's a couple outfits, but I'm just going to say my actual show outfit.
Are you? I don't know if you've talked about this. I know you've talked about it on this show. Are you going to do the sailor suit?
Well, the outfit I wore for the Yali Crew concert at the Whiskey, I think so.
Does it have the little
but this time
kerchief?
we're going to add chains, like
Oh.
70s chains.
Okay.
I got
And
like
you're
a lion
unbuttoned.
one. Oh, I'm going all the way unbuttoned.
Like down to
oh, yeah.
past the what's that thing called?
No, because it's
Navel?
Not all that way.
Just have it unbuttoned and untucked. Just all the way down.
I need to be loose with the sailor hat on this year.
Okay.
All right, 1 minute away at ESPNLA.com. Get ready to buy those Mandy's 3 tickets. The biggest party of the year. Party, oh party. And thanks to all of our great partners. Tequila Mandala, the law offices of Joseph S. Normand, George Chevrolet, TLC Creative. They're going to be doing an amazing. Our friend Kevin over there, he's a big Mason Iron listener. The things he's got planned are incredible. Children's Dental Fun Zone. They've got the Smile Cam and Best Smile Award, which is a new award this year.
Okay.
It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait. Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Mandy's 3. Who's going to win Host of the Year? Will Slee defend? Or will Mason finally get the hardware?
I'm going to need to check out Hoops Talk to see what his campaign, his shadow campaign is looking like on YouTube.
Show of the year, of course, Sedano and Cap beat Mason and Ireland last year. Will this year be the one for Travis and Sliwa? Producer of the year, will Producer M make it happen?
Hope so.
Associate Producer of the Year, of course, the Power 4 there, right? Plus, we've got Personality of the Year. Best Segment, Radio Tinder's won 2 years in a row. Will it defend and make it a three-peat? We know Lindsay thinks so. Most Hated. And, of course, best play-by-play. Bit of the year, will the 22-inch hot dog challenge at Yamava win? Or will Ramona sneak in there with the nut milk bit? Who knows? You can vote, of course, at ESPNLA.com.
The moment's approaching rapidly, Chris. Are you ready?
10:30 in the Southland, and it is unlocked and ready to go, sucker, at ESPNLA.com. Get your Mandy's 3 tickets Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Bam! Buy now. Don't miss out. And more fun and frivolity. You got to read?
No.
Okay. Get your Mandy's 3 tickets, ESPNLA.com.
Go to ESPNLA.com and click on the Mandy's 3 logo.
Get them today before they sell out.
Mandy's 3 is presented by
the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Of course, proud sponsors of our voting page this year and presenting the Man of the People Award. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Injury attorneys you can trust. 213-747-2000.
Don't miss your chance to be at the Commerce Casino for the biggest party 710 throws all year. Mandy's 3.
In the Southland. Live Imaging Tuesday, you're hearing the great Tierra perform there. The Legacy, Tierra Legacy is going to be performing at the Mandy's before the show begins. That is the son of the Salas brothers. Of course, David Salas is the son. Steve and Rudy Salas, the creators of the band, the original partners, they passed away over the last year. And, of course, very sad news in all of Los Angeles. Tierra founded here in East L.A., the Salas brothers. But the sons have taken over. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be really cool to see Tierra up on stage. Tierra Legacy will be performing, and that's included in your ticket price, of course, that you can buy right now at ESPNLA.com. Mandy's 3 at the Commerce Casino Saturday, June 22nd. It's going to sell out today. You know that. So go to ESPNLA.com right now.
If you want to learn more about Tierra, they got a Wikipedia entry.
There you go.
So you actually can find out about the history of this band.
This song was a #1 hit back in 1981.
They have been around a long time, so go check them out.
I think that we'll get to middle of Mason in Ireland, and it's gone. Because remember, 2 years ago, Mandy's won. We had them almost all gone by the end of our show. And then Mason and Ireland finished it up from there. And by the time that Sedano and Cap came on, the tickets had already been sold. So I know the capacity is much different going forward, but people want to go. They got a show. They got 2 drink tickets. They get dinner. They got a table. They get the actual rundown. They get the Andy and Brian Kamenetsky roast that we were talking a little bit about. I'm looking forward to it. I thought there should have been, you guys should have been given some more time. I thought that you guys were clipped a little bit along the way. You all right over there, Chris?
No.
No? Are you coming back?
Yes.
Okay. That was so I don't know if this is a good example of why you should be watching on YouTube, because I know Chris for a long time. That was a look that I haven't seen very often. That was a I'm going to go kill somebody look. So we'll see. I don't know. Did you catch that one, Jorge? Do you see that face right there?
Oh, yeah.
The
that
timing,
was something else.
I will say the timing of it felt like he stormed out of the room in disgust at just the prospect
of your
me
roast?
and Brian getting more time.
Who knows? Maybe that's what it
But
was.
he's walking with purpose down the hall. I have a feeling that it has nothing to do with me and Brian.
All right, so a little bit of breaking news here. This from Alden Gonzalez from ESPN. Ippei Mizuhara, Shohei Otani's former and longtime interpreter, pled guilty to bank and tax fraud charges during a change of plea hearing in federal court this morning. That plea carries a maximum sentence of up to 33 years in federal prison. Sentencing is set for October 25th, so we'll find out how much time he will actually end up doing in a few months. The Dodgers have issued a statement which reads as follows: with today's plea in the criminal proceedings against Ippei Mizuhara and the conclusion of both federal and MLB investigations, the Dodgers are pleased that Shohei and the team can put this entire matter behind them and move forward in a pursuit of a World Series title. So, okay, I get that. I'm sure that the Dodgers behind closed doors were deeply invested in the proceedings of this court case and the plea and Shohei's involvement, if there was any, lack thereof, whatever. But it never really seemed to affect Otani in any meaningful way. He's had a great season so far, and been more or less, by his standards, the normal ebb and flow of good weeks to bad weeks. And if this has been a weight on his shoulders in any meaningful way, it certainly hasn't shown up on the field.
Well, a lot of this, I think, got resolved in terms of the ways it directly affected Otani pretty quickly. And whether you want to be a skeptic about it, whether you want to believe that this was really in a lot of ways something that only tangentially involved Otani and that he was a true victim. Either way, it was done with his piece of it, like fast enough that it was, I think, pretty easy for him to just move forward. It seemed like, honestly, he was having more of a struggle before he hit that first home run than he had dealing with the Ippei situation.
Yeah, look, I think that there are a lot of great athletes. Then there are athletes that maybe go up to a level beyond just great, but superstars. And then there's that cut even beyond that. Those guys that no matter what's going on, no matter how many different things are swirling around them, it really doesn't affect them, or if anything else, actually locks them in even further. From all the things that we've seen with this dude, he might be one of those guys, because unfortunately we never got to see him in meaningful baseball games with the Angels. Angels weren't in that. We did get to see it in the World Baseball Classic, where he showed up in the most major way you could, both at the plate and on the mound. You saw where he signs a free agent contract that's the biggest in the history of American pro sports. He goes to Korea, where this ish hits the fan, right? That whole thing blows up. And he just keeps chugging along. And he's putting up numbers. Life's been kind of cold for a week or so, but that aside, he's putting up numbers that are MVP, Triple Crown type numbers. I think he's one of those guys that it just really doesn't matter what's going on around him.
Well, I mean, the great ones always find ways to compartmentalize, but I also think it helped with Otani that if you're somebody that, and I happen to be one of these people, and I know I'm in the minority probably at this station, but whatever, I happen to believe that a lot of this, the way this went down in terms of legally, the way the case has been explained to everybody, the charges, blah, 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 that's actually the way this happened. Mm-hmm. And I tend to believe Otani really was pretty unaware of this stuff, or certainly was not directly involved in it.
I believe that second part.
Once you know, though, from Otani's standpoint, my legal exposure is zero, then there isn't a ton for him to even compartmentalize. Because,
this kind of pushes it back, though, as far as people ask. Today, they're playing the Pirates today. I'm sure people ask him questions. But by the end of this weekend, this is fully in his rearview mirror.
It was, at the very least, presented to the public that Shohei Otani, his legal exposure is non-existent. He did not break the law. He did not do anything illegal. He was not involved with illicit gambling, certainly not on baseball, but in anything, which, again, I believe, because he does not seem like the person that would get involved with that sort of thing. And frankly, if he was involved with it, it's too easy for him just to pay cash, remove every single paper trail, all that stuff. But either way, it's easy for him.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Sure.
And this kind of, I want to, this will connect back to Ippei and Otani here in a second. Earlier today, infielder in the Padres system, Tucupita Marcano, was banned for life from Major League Baseball. Some of the details of why, if you want to go to the story and read it, are there. But he gambled about $150,000-ish on baseball.
On baseball
specifically, and had a success rate of 4.3%. Okay? Ippei Mizuhara.
You lose 96% of the bets you don't make.
Ippei Mizuhara also was apparently very, very bad at sports gambling. That the reason that this thing blew up the way that it did, and maybe it would have ultimately, but he got way in the hole. And if you believe, like you do, that what we have been told is what happened, he started stealing from his employer / best friend, confidant, right? You know, the ultimate crime, the ultimate betrayal. And because he was crappy at sport. Do you only get caught if you suck at this? Or if you're pretty good at it, but you're not just raking in money, like you can't be hitting it 75% because that's going to draw a red flag. But if you are like most sports gamblers, you're somewhere in the middle, maybe slightly below the middle, could you just go on forever? Because I'm pretty sure the only reason we know Marcano and Mizuhara did this because they were so damn bad at it.
And you don't bet on yourself when you're the sixth.
Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter. He was probably the only person that placed bets on Jonte Porter in the history of the world.
By definition, a prop bet involving Jonte Porter is a red flag. Forget the amount of money that you're putting on it. If you are placing a prop bet involving Jonte Porter, that's a red flag. That is suspicious in and of itself.
Wait, what? We got our first ever prop on Jonte Porter?
That's a made-up name.
And it's under. Hold on.
No, but I'm telling you, like the people with FanDuel or whatever site it was, like, they're like, wait, Jonte, who's that?
They misspelled DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, they're like, who the hell's Jonte Porter?
It's putting a bet on Ben Skoranek to score a touchdown, and you're like, I mean, that's really strange.
No, to not score a touchdown, right?
Exactly.
And then he plays the opening kickoff and says, I'm good.
Yeah, it's suspicious. It's highly, highly suspicious. But like as far as these other things, like it's all about not raising red flags. It's all about trying to stay below the radar. And if you are a baseball player, for example, and you are doing this stuff through now legal sports books, you're creating a paper trail. Like you're actually creating the evidence that will be used against you. Like if you were trying to be sort of like a middle-level gambler betting anonymously on baseball with a bookie, as long as you are paying off on time and not allowing yourself to get in the hole, you can probably get away with it.
I need to point this out. The Tucupita Marcano, who got banned for life this morning, who had a 4.3 win percent, he's a professional baseball player. These were baseball.
Yes.
Has he never seen a baseball game? Because if you just threw darts at the wall, you're going to hit more than 4.3% of these bets.
You would think he would have more insider knowledge.
Hey, this guy's been struggling. Hey, this guy's got bad thumb or whatever it may be. This is why they don't let you do it, because presumably you have a built-in advantage, or you're going to rig it so you can win all of these bets.
The actual punishment should have been that they make him keep betting.
Rob Manfred, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today. In light of the Tucupita Marcano situation, we've decided that in lieu of a lifetime ban, 80% of his future earnings will be forced into a sports wagering position of his choosing.
Like that's actually the best way to punish him, because he can go just play somewhere else, like Mexico, or he can play overseas, wherever, and he can keep on placing bets. Like he can keep playing baseball. They should have punished him by making him bet.
The other thing that's so dumb is that, and I understand that gambling can be an addiction, like just about anything else can be an addiction, and you make wildly irrational.
People who've been addicted.
So do
gambling.
I, and I'm not making light of that, but. You can get the rules say you just can't bet on baseball. You want to bet on highlight, greyhound racing, the NFL, whatever it is that you want to bet on, go nuts. You just can't. Here are the 30 teams you cannot bet on. everything else in the world is sport. You like Pakistani cricket? Knock yourself out.
They actually make it pretty easy to be like a degenerate gambler.
Yes.
Like to be a gambling addict. They're like, look, we are going to enable you. Just don't do this one thing. Just the one thing. You have one job. Don't bet on baseball.
We're going to give you a machine that you can carry in your pocket. You can bet on anything, anytime, any you want. Just not these three. Just not these 30
It's
teams.
like the NFL. It's like, just don't place your bet in a locker room. That's all we're asking. Like, drive off the lot and go do this.
Unbelievable. Hey, Foo, did you see? Coming up next, it's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
One moment at 10:45. If you have had issues in the first few minutes, the access code is unlocked now. And I think I had an aneurysm in the back.
It looked like it. I thought that your brain was going to explode.
It did,
I had not seen that look on your face before. That was a new one for me.
So ESPNLA.com. Buy your tickets now.
And when you're on your way to the Mandy's, can you imagine having your car break down? What a tragedy that would be. That's why you got to get yourself into your neighborhood instant oil change from Valvoline, right? Your neighborhood Valvoline instant oil change is home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. You're in, you're out, all in about 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of the car. You don't have to sit in that weird waiting room. You don't have to drink that bad coffee. At Valvoline, you stay in your car nice and safe, nice and relaxed, while the expert technicians go to work on your car so you don't get stuck on the side of the road. So you're not the person that's late to the big event, that's late to the game, that's late to the Mandy's. Not if you've taken your car into Valvoline. Over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Travis and Sliwa, and it's time for the segment we do around this time, 10:40 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it. I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see? Did you happen to see? It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
Jorge, did you see that Mandy's 3 tickets are now available for sale?
Yeah,
How
you
about
can get
that?
it for $49. You get dinner. There's the live band performance. I might win my 3rd in a row award.
You're,
Hey,
you have the
listen.
shortest of the shortest odds on the board. You're like probably minus 400,
Hey,
right? You're a pretty good bet.
I'm going
in
for
that
a 3-peat.
category.
You know why? Because I'm here.
Yeah.
Now you're here.
Poor Funches. What a disaster that was. What do you got for us?
Bunchies. All right, guys. So
He suspended his campaign.
I decided, I thank all my supporters for their time, energy, and support.
The Connor Roy campaign.
yeah, Bunchy, you have the floor. I'm
Talking
here.
fractions. There are fractions, Andy. What do you got?
All right, so over the weekend, we talked about this yesterday. You weren't here, but over the weekend, Brenda and I went out to the city of Santa Ana, check out a concert from Los Cafres. They're a reggae band from Argentina. They started in 1987. I think it's their first time performing in LA or California. I was iffy about buying the tickets because one thing is for you to watch them and listen to them like on videos or whatever, and 2 is Brenda didn't really know the band. I didn't know if she was going to have a good time. And then these guys made fun of me because I had a bottle of tequila in the car and a couple shots from...
Yeah, I think it was the trunk tequila that really won her over.
Tequila.
Like just as for a break glass in case of emergency situation?
Because I had something, the night before.
Oh, okay.
And I had leftover
Some
tequila.
warm tequila because we live in Southern California.
But it was gloomy. It's been gloomy.
Okay.
Okay. Jorge, you're my guy, but I'm kind of with them on this one. That sounds terrible.
Hold on. So, in my defense, I took out a few shots and she thought we were doing something legal. Anyway, we had a good time. We tried sending pictures, like, me and you usually share pictures of our drinks or whatever. It just wasn't going through because the place was underground. These guys took 2 hours to come out into the stage, right? The show was supposed to start at 9. It started at 11. We were standing the whole time front row because I wanted to get there early.
Yep.
And you know me, like I'm just trying to get there before.
Of course.
Yeah. So they come out late. So my question to you guys is, have you guys ever bought tickets unsure of how a certain event is going to be or how the turnout's going to be or if you might even like it? Have you guys ever just, blindly gone for something like that?
No, generally speaking, I don't do that. Like if I buy tickets for a concert, I want to know the band. Like, unless it's like with a group of friends that I'm really doing this as much just to hang with my friends. Or like, I remember one time I saw a group at the El Rey that I had never seen before, but my friend who knows my music taste really well that I went with, he's like, I promise you're going to like this band a lot. And I went, and it turned out he was right. I did like the band a lot. But for the most part, for like concert type experience, that sort of thing, I want to have a pretty good idea what I'm getting into.
I wish I were more adventurous. I wish I were more willing to just say, let's just go try it. And because I bet it's at least a 50-50 shot, right? And so you're going to get 50% more experiences that you wouldn't have otherwise.
The problem for me is, honestly, like a lot of concert tickets now are so expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to roll the dice on like $300 or $400 when it's over and then be like, well, that sucked.
That's kind of, and Susan and I don't go to a ton of concerts specifically, but like just going to a thing is fun in and of itself. Even if the show isn't great or you see a play or whatever, and it's not exactly what you had in mind, it's still a fun day out. It's still a fun night out, but we just, to your point, A, expense, and B, the limited opportunity to go to things, you're going to be a little bit more strategic in when you decide
once you
to
start
go.
adulting with kids and jobs and stuff like
we
that.
have a Friday.
Like, Emily, hold on to this period in your life where you can just freewheel and improvise and spur of the moment decide to do whatever.
Mark Cates, one of our marketing consultants here, was in the studio this morning when Em and I were chit-chatting, and Mark comes in, and we were talking because we're almost exactly the same age. We're almost at exactly the same stages in our lives with our children, our wives, our parents, and Emily, and we're talking about all the different things that we're doing and all these different things, and Emily's looking at us like we're speaking a foreign language. Like, what are you guys talking about?
I mean, I understood, but it's just like, I was talking to Andy about this because I was like thinking about something happening this week. I was like, it's the day I get to be like super selfish. I get to do whatever I want to do. And I was like, that's every day. I have no kids. I just have this job that I'm responsible to, and that's the only thing I can be selfish about.
It's funny because it's finally come back around to where my kids are old enough to where their needs, they can take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They can get themselves to where they need to be. They can run their own schedules, that it literally is finally back to, well, what do you want to do today? And we don't have to check their box first.
Yeah, but speaking of Jorge's question about going to places you didn't know, so probably my favorite concert I've ever been to was a surprise concert. Surprise to me, at least. My friend asked me to come to this concert. It was for this band called Lawrence, and I was like, sure, I'll go. The tickets were $30, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. It's a smaller venue in Philadelphia, and I went, and it was the coolest concert I'd ever been to. Like, the band had such good energy. They like marched their band like through the audience and stuff. They had a full like tuba, trombone, like all that stuff. They marched it through the audience, and I'm seeing them again in October at the Wiltern because
You sure it wasn't the Ohio State marching band?
Sure. I've become a big fan of them, and they've gotten a lot bigger, and so I saw them at the Wiltern. I'm going to see them at the Wiltern.
No, we had a good time. Brenda didn't know much about the band, and she's like, dude, they're late, but they better be good. And we had a fun time. It was our first night out, actually. My mom came over.
Oh, nice.
She watched the kids. So, like,
How was the tequila?
Tequila was good.
Yeah?
You know, it was...
Not too hot?
No, because I'm telling you, like,
Didn't smell like car exhaust?
No, man, it did not, man. Stop.
Got one more?
Yeah. So let's talk about your boy here, and I'm talking about Lionel Messi.
Oh.
So today he is finally introducing a drink like
Bad
no
boys.
other. Yeah, bad boys. He's calling it Mas Plus by Messi, a new generation hydration beverage. He calls it Positive Hydration, a balanced blend of electrolytes, vitamins, and minerals, and amazing taste in 4 sensational flavors. So it gets me thinking. When you go to the gas station or like you're gonna, hydrate, whatever, you're on the road, do you have a go-to drink? Because I know a guy back there, I'm not gonna say his name from the sales side. I was having this conversation because I was looking at the fridge we have here with various drinks. So I was gonna go for the Coke, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting the Coke because I'm just trying to cut on my sugars.
Sure.
He tells me he drinks a Red Bull or a Monster every morning. That's his go-to.
That's
drink.
his,
having a
that's
coffee,
his caffeine
Yeah,
source.
exactly, yeah. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's your thing. I drink coffee myself or whatever. So what is your go-to drink when you're out and about on the road? Or are you opposed to trying new drinks like the Messi drink?
Usually I look for, I'm a big sparkling water person. Travis and I, there was a period I don't know if they've continued this over at SoFi.
They do not.
Okay. There was a period right before the Rams left the Coliseum. But when Travis and I were both often there because we were working Rams games in various capacities, they had sparkling water on tap.
Good sparkling water on tap. Highly carbonated, cold.
This was like effing Xanadu, man. Like, this was incredible.
And they had good ice from that
Yes.
machine.
Oh
It was lovely.
Like, high-end sparkling water, or like, there's a difference in taste. Like,
yes,
the Mexican sparkling water.
Topo Chico's the heavyweight
Topo
champ of the
Chico
world.
is awesome.
It's the
or like
number one.
The Ritos,
that's
just sparkling water.
Yeah.
Like the non-sodas is sparkling
I
water.
haven't had the pleasure
it's
of that.
great. It's great.
There's another one called Peña Fiel. You guys might want to look
Or
at
like
that.
when
Okay.
I've gone to Mexico, like we usually every few years go to Playa del Carmen, and when I've gone to Mexico, their sparkling water, man, it hits. It is so great. But usually a sparkling water is the thing that I want.
I'm exactly the same man. I have nothing to add to that. That's exactly the same thing. Is it weird that when you started telling me about Messi's hydration drink that I just pictured it coming in a sippy cup?
Oh, it's not weird at all. Cause
Hey, Mom, I want it in a sippy cup, and I wanted to have animals, and I wanted to have colors. I just figure that's how the 2 handles on both sides, so you could drink it like this.
So the 4 flavors are Miami Punch,
Chocolate milk,
Orange Dior,
Hawaiian punch.
Berry Copa Crush, and Limon Lime League. Huh? How
That
about
sounds all right. Leek?
League.
Oh,
Like
leek.
the
I'm like a
soccer league.
leek
No, not
flavored
league,
beverage
man.
sounds
I'll
terrible.
pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't
Lemon
sound.
lime onion.
I'm for the Orange Dior. I have a thing for the Arizona, the Arnold Palmer one, the black can.
That's good. It's a little
My
sweet.
wife likes those.
Yeah.
I every time I go to the gas station, I get that.
She likes the no sugar or like 0 calorie ones. But
I get a Diet Coke, and then if I need energy, I get a Red Bull.
Yeah, some of this depends on do I need caffeine or not, but if it's non-caffeine, I just want what I want, sparkling
As
water.
an older person, caffeine after about 11 is kind of off the table. So, Emily, stay out of this.
11 a.m. or 11 p.m.?
a.m. It's about enough.
Well, you just hit your
I
mark.
know, that's why we're not going to refill this thing one more time. We're going to the. We should put in a requisition for a sparkling water
do you think
machine.
They do
here.
that for us?
Can't hurt to ask. I mean, no, if I can't even get a ticket to the Mandy's, but maybe
I
they'll
also
make it
want to
good.
hear about Clipped. If you want to talk about that on the other
I
side,
absolutely
I wanna hear
do.
about it.
Got to go to the premiere last night. It was a ton of fun, and the show is just terrific. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
Downtown Los Angeles, the Travis and Sliwa Show. Slee, this is one of his favorite songs, and he's not here. He's under the weather. Andy Kamenetsky's sitting in. I think Andy's in the bathroom or something.
He's filling in for Slee.
What a shame. I mean, what are we going to do without Andy to start the segment? I'm just kidding. Andy and Brian will be doing the roast this year. Again, hopefully they'll keep time contained. At Mandy's 3 at the Commerce Casino Saturday, June 22nd. And guess what? Tickets are on sale now. They're blowing off the shelf, sucker. And we actually delayed it because we kept an access code on there for 10 minutes too long.
Building anticipation.
Listen, just because we rehearse things several times, see, that's why we're not
Never
going to
rehearse.
What's the point?
Never rehearse.
I'm just
it can
disappointed.
Only create frustration. If you just kind of say, we forgot to take the access code down, you just, okay, it's down.
It's not like it's a big event.
But
or
when
anything.
you go and try to get it done from the beginning, it's just going to build up the frustration. It's open now.
It's open. ESPNLA.com. When you go to the website, you'll click the logo.
Tickets.
Get the tickets. $49. Every seat's the same price this year. Every seat is at a table. Okay, none of those ugly chairs from last year. Every seat is at a table. Your ticket price includes dinner, and we got a big flame in the back. We're cooking live dinner.
What are we cooking? Do we know?
I'm sure meat.
Well, I figured that. I think you're just going to be roasting vegetables all
There's probably
afternoon.
vegetables there, too. Welcome back, Andy. Anyway.
Live grilling Saturday.
Dinner, 2 drink tickets included in the price. Plus, we're going to have giveaways. Everyone's going home with a goodie bag with fun and frivolity in it.
Ooh.
Plus, some surprises, some major announcements. And we got a live band, Tierra de Legacy. We got DJ Ray from the Lakers. He's going to be spinning the wax. All kinds of stuff. And he won't wear socks, DJ Ray.
He's a sockless guy.
Exactly right. So, that's Tiara's thinking right now. 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Get your tickets now, ESPNLA.com. Buy them before they're gone. And then you whine, I'm not going to be at the Mandy's. Well, be at the Mandy's. Just go buy your tickets right now. Or hit up Crypto Ray. He'll go buy them for you. He'll be the... Now, he's going to charge you
points. Is he going to have a secondary market?
If you're busy, because I've seen this go on Twitter, people that are going to be busy today at work or something, they can't get to the website. Crypto Ray will be your ticket agent on this. But he's going to charge you points. He's going to give you a little vig.
He's got to wet his beak.
Yeah, of course. I just need to taste something to wet the beak. Of course, Crypto Ray is the defending Fan of the Year award winner. Now, this year we're doing it a little different. Listener's Choice Award is the one that you write in when you vote at ESPNLA.com, the Joseph S. Normand Law Offices of Joseph S. Normand voting page. You write in your fan favorite. So, for instance, if Ray's on there, he might write in Casper Villa or anybody from the Twitter community. That's the Listener Choice Award.
I vote for you if you vote for me.
No. Those votes are taken out. Okay? Well, you're not voting for station people. You're voting for listeners.
No. Casper Villa would say, I vote for you, Crypto Ray, if you vote for me.
I'm already annoyed. You got to do more of it.
Travis understood.
I didn't.
I understood perfectly.
I didn't understand at all.
Yeah. You're a little preoccupied.
You've
got some things on your mind today.
It's a little more what's going on in your life than me.
Probably. Yeah. Anyway, we're also going to give away a Fan of the Year award, and that one is selected internally, and we'll see if Crypto Ray defends that title. Remember, first year, what was it? It wasn't Fan of the Year. We called it something else.
Caller of the Year. Raul in the OC.
And then he vanished.
We haven't seen him since.
Haven't seen him since. I think Beto was responsible for that. Beto ran him off of Twitter.
Oh, he did? He bullied him?
I'm pretty sure. But then
Beto could be a bully.
To never come back?
He is not, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but we have not heard from Raul since.
Well, not from that name. Maybe he's had some burners.
Because he was, Alan Slee was Murphy Bed prior, and then he was Raul
I bet you
in
because
the
of
OC.
that Twitter handle, I bet you Slee paid him. And just said, listen, it's kind of like Otani took care of Ipe. Go away for a few years. I'll take care of you when you come out.
33 years is a long time.
He's not doing 33
years. Take a dive for how? Okay, I don't understand how federal sentencing goes. Did you get 5?
I mean, 33 is the max?
33 is the max.
I'm figuring 5 to 10.
So, okay, let's go low. Let's say he gets 5, and then you have to serve half that?
Yeah.
It's 2.5.
And you get to play shuffleboard all day.
And he's shaving the garlic.
I don't, exactly.
So it melts in the pan, Em. It melts in the pan, absolutely.
That is why you should vote for Emily for Producer of the Year award. Because she's gonna sneak in a Goodfellas reference, and not just like,
it's a deep cut.
It's not that deep, but you got to know your stuff to do that.
That's a pretty good pull.
That was very good.
That's a pretty good pull. He could run the prison gambling.
Kind of like when Uncle Junior did it in the in the nursing home.
Hey, June.
Yeah.
Well, remember when OJ was before the parole board, they were asking him what he was doing. He goes, well, I organized the Prison Fantasy Football League, and my team came in first place.
That's the best scene. Because the first episode of OJ Man in America is a little long on the tooth because they're giving you all the background.
Right.
So it's going to take a couple of episodes to get to what's going on. But that opening scene where he's like, he's OJ. He's so charismatic sitting there in the blue
such a good opening
jumpsuit.
scene.
And then they say, so walk us through June 12th, 1994. And he's like,
bringing that in?
What was I doing? Can you be more specific?
I think I went to McDonald's with Cato.
How could anybody remember one day?
Did anybody here watch the new one that dropped this weekend?
There's a new one, and I don't know about it?
It's on Lifetime.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the
life and death of Nicole Simpson?
It's on HBO Max.
Okay. I saw it on
That's not
Lifetime.
the one that's like love affair, tragic love affair one? Because I watched that one.
No.
And the one sister was primarily in that one.
It's all the sisters.
Oh.
It's Cato. It's a couple of the police officers. It's a lot of
so
people.
So they're all going back to the well for one more dip?
Well, the sisters are new. And it's Faye.
No, the other sister did that other special earlier the year.
The one, Denise, I believe
this is new for Denise to be in there.
No, Tanya's the new one. And the other, I get the names confused. Faye Resnick's in it.
Oh, Faye.
A lot of her other friends are in it. Some of the friends of the mother are in it. It's a new cast of characters, and I watched all of it. Just saying, there are 3 episodes. The last
I think I know what I'm doing this weekend.
4 hours of content.
Whatever happened to AC? AC hasn't talked.
A lot of AC deposition video.
Oh, the deposition video, yeah.
Yeah, pretty.
But whatever, is
good.
AC still with us, right?
Kris Jenner is in it.
Oh,
yeah. There's some Good stuff. A lot of her friends from when she was a young
Current
single
Caitlyn Jenner or an old
Kris. No, not Caitlyn Jenner. Kris Jenner.
Oh, Kris Jenner. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause she was married to Robert, and of course Robert was.
Yes.
He did some stuff to make sure that other things.
Wonder why they added him to the defense team. So
it's such a
split.
Again, money buys great things like your defense. They thought of everything.
They were pretty good at what they did.
Still, my favorite thing is the DNA attorney. What was his name?
Barry Scheck.
Where is it, Mr. Fung? That might be the greatest line in the trial. And of course, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. But he destroyed Mr. Fung's career.
Do you know what he did?
Who was
after
the criminalist?
Barry Scheck?
Yeah.
He created the Innocence Project to use DNA to get people out of jail.
Well, he had to pay back his karma.
He wanted to square his account with the universe.
Well, he saw the other ones going down. All of a sudden, they're getting sick and going away. So he was like, "Oh boy."
By the way, AC Collins still with us.
Oh, still with us.
Yes.
Is he driving a white Bronco still?
It's not that specific in the Wikipedia entry, but he is 76
a lot
years
of
old.
Marcus Allen conversation in this one.
We know.
I mean, but detailed Marcus Allen
Will
conversations.
you be watching the new TLC show with the Baldwins?
Yes. Alec and Hilario Baldwin has been announced to have an upcoming TLC reality show, like Meet the Baldwins type thing.
We met them.
No better way to let a judge and jury know you're taking your manslaughter trial seriously
Right,
than
exactly.
announcing your upcoming TLC reality show.
Those Alec Baldwin voicemails to his daughter years back.
Oh, yeah.
We played those a few times.
Right, remember?
Yeah,
he's a pretty terrible person.
No, he's not great.
He's an awful person.
His thing was the voicemails and
Words with
punching
Friends.
paparazzos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those were his things that he was
And then
most well known
didn't he
for.
get in trouble for playing Words with Friends on a plane?
He wouldn't turn off his phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe he was asked to
No, he's pretty awful.
leave.
Okay,
the
but
airport.
also remember the very pilot of West Wing, and the guy's talking about using his phone on the airplane.
Yeah, Richard Schiff.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and he's like, "Oh, this isn't going to do anything."
Yeah, but he's the communications director of the White House, not Alec Baldwin.
Playing Words
And it
with
was also
Friends.
like a landline phone, basically.
Right, exactly. No, he gave us the opening, not the opening scene, but the scene in Glengarry Glen Ross. Okay, Coffee is for closers, and he gave us his performance in The Departed.
And
Other than
30
that,
Rock.
30 Rock.
30 Rock was
He's great.
incredible, and he did the Trump on Saturday Night Live.
Look, he's really talented. You can be talented and a terrible person.
He was
Yeah,
a
tell me
good
about
Jack Ryan in Hunt for Red October. He's a good actor.
Oh, he's
You
a
weren't supposed to
terrific
agree
actor.
with that, Andy, when I said that.
I didn't know you were specifically saying yourself.
I was giving you an opening line, and you snickered. And that hurt me, and I'm leaving.
Could have been anybody.
Do you have to go yell at somebody again?
There's a lot of terrible, talented people in the world, Chris. It didn't have to be you. I mean, you kind of outed yourself there. I was leaving it ambiguous.
You were going
The lady doth protest too much.
You were going to leave it open to the audience's imagination, whereas
I mean, there are a lot of people you can choose from here, much less
basically
the world.
most of us.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. All right, we're going to talk about Clipped. I got to see the premiere episode last night. I absolutely loved it, and I thought one person's performance really kind of jumped out. The debut, I should say the premiere, I believe, is on FX tonight. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Man.
The sounds of Tierra. They'll be at Mandy's 3 on Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Of course, from East LA, Steve and Rudy Salas, who have passed away, their sons have taken on the band, Tierra Legacy. They'll be with us to open up the show before we start giving out awards and having fun. They're going to start the fun. It's going to be a beautiful night, a full day. We're going to keep the meet and greets with all the personalities. DJ Ray's going to be there from the Lakers Tierra. And then, of course, at 8 o'clock, we take the stage for Mandy's 3 at the Commerce Casino. Have you gotten your tickets yet? I believe reports are half the building is already gone.
No kidding.
Hey, yo.
And it's been, well, if you count when we kept the access code, so it's been about 35 minutes. So get them now, ESPNLA.com.
Code is Vote for Emily.
$49. Emily's on today.
She's having a good day.
$49 gets you your Mandy's ticket plus dinner, a nice dinner. They're cooking outside. I'm going to be out there probably flipping meat with them too. 2 drinks. We're going to buy you 2 drinks and dinner too. Plus, you're going to go home with a little goodie bag. We're going to have great raffle prizes, big surprises, awards. How could this not be great? And here's the other little kicker. If you remember last year, everybody kind of dumped into the bar area, and the bars weren't really there at Commerce. We love Commerce Casino, where the game reigns. But they weren't built to take 1,000 people walking into the bars. So now, when the show's over, and as Jorge knows, the show could end at 11. It could end at 1. Who knows? It depends on Yeah, it's all about how long the camps go. So here's what happens. After the last award is given and we say goodnight, the lights go up in the giant tent outside.
Brian and I are still on stage.
Probably.
Wait, I got one more.
And then the music starts up. And the post party and the bar action is now inside the tent. So you don't even have to go anywhere. We opened the bars are just going to stay open, sucker, the whole night.
2 things just heard in the Travis and Sliwa community from Capitano Matt. Got him. Table 51. So congrats to you. Matt and others like you have your tickets. Also hearing from a few people regarding our earlier conversation with Otani and Ipe. Typically, you do like 85 to 90% of a federal sentence, like for federal court. So assuming these people are right, and it's just, I'm actually starting to think they are, Ipe could be gone for a while.
80% of 33 years is no joke.
He could be playing a lot of shuffleboard.
He's going to have a hell of a gambling pool inside.
Now, who's told you this? Are these gutless Dodgers apologists?
Did they say Esquire in the...
Yeah, exactly. These are the guys who are like, hey, man, Otani never would have done it. Now, if Otani was an angel when this story came out, what's going on? Is that me?
That's you.
That's you.
See, I just was telling you about how this thing's always listening. As we know, but mine, the Siri keeps to pop up.
What did she want?
I don't know. They're hearing me talk about Ipe. Maybe that's why.
Maybe it's the feds.
They got enough on them. We don't want to go there.
How much of a federal sentence do you serve?
Are you doing like a Google search?
Ask a Google.
You are going to get targeted now by lawyer ads all day.
According to the law offices of J.D. Rogers.
Hey.
85%. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like this J.D. Rogers.
They serve an average of 85%, which means they are required to serve a minimum of 85% before they become eligible for
good
release.
behavior or any of that stuff?
Free Ipe.
Do you want me to read Shohei Otani's
well, that
statement?
is there to incentivize.
Is that his statement? Who?
Not committing federal.
Never heard of him.
That's there to what? Prevent people from committing federal crimes?
Well, no, it says it's there to maybe incentivize the good behavior that maybe could get you out early. But for the most part, your sentence is 85%.
How much is Otani or Otani's team paying Ipe to not flip? That's got to be worth a lot of money.
I don't think there's something to flip on.
Oh, there's flipping. There's flipping, baby. You see all these other baseball players going down? They knew there was an investigation coming.
Hold on, what's this guy's name? Tucupita Marcona is not Shohei Otani.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah, no, I know it is, but I don't think he was placing bets. I think he knew Ipe was in over his head and was trying to see what was coming up. I know we're in 3 different camps in this
I feel
thing.
like if he really wanted to take care of this for Ipe, you pay the thing in cash, you get his debt off the books, and you leave no paper trail. If you're somebody like Shohei Otani, who is maybe the most insanely private person I've ever heard
You know
of.
what's crazy about this? And I got to be a little careful how I say this. The bookie, not Ipe, but the guy who was booking his bets, lived down by where I live.
Right.
I have friends that know this guy and run in similar circles with him. This guy was not super shy about telling people what was going on. Like, it wasn't telling everybody, but when the news broke, a couple of my friends were like, yeah, I had heard that there was, he wasn't giving names, but there was stuff, like it wasn't a greatly held
open
secret.
Open secrets are called that for a reason. Like, we had mentioned we're going to talk about Clipped.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that brought down Donald Sterling. You want to talk about your open secrets.
Oh, my God.
Like, it's not like these revelations about Donald Sterling eventually with the TMZ recording with V and Magic Johnson. Everyone's like, oh, my God, that's not the Donald Sterling I know.
Right. The recordings. So talking about Clipped, got a chance to see the opening episode last night. It's terrific. I don't want to oversell it too hard because whenever somebody does that to me, it's kind of a turn off. But I loved it. I thought it was absolutely great. The performance that really jumped out to me more than any, Andy, was Lawrence Fishburne as Doc. I thought he's terrific as Doc, kind of bringing that charisma that Doc certainly has, that passion that Doc has, and just the complete befuddlement of trying to navigate the universe of Donald Sterling. It was such a powerful performance. It's funny, it's scary, and he does such a good job of capturing how bizarre it must have been to be in that universe.
Well, I mean, one of the things about Donald Sterling that I think gets overshadowed because he was such a horrible, racist, misogynistic, immoral person, weird as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really super weird. Like, for example, I have been around Donald Sterling on several occasions, but I've only met him, if you want to call what I'm about to describe, meeting him once. It was in the Clippers locker room after the 2006 playoff series first round between the Clippers and Denver ended. Clippers advanced in the next round. I'm in a scrum around Elton Brand for post-game stuff, and this is being filmed live. Donald Sterling, as he was often wont to do, comes into the locker room and gives Elton Brand this big hug, then turns to me. Never met I've never met Donald Sterling in my life. Bear hugs me. I'm like, bro, boundaries. No touching. But that's the kind of guy that he was. Like, there were no boundaries. Nothing was too much because he was both incredibly rich, incredibly assertive, and incredibly weird.
There is more than one scene that describes exactly what you're just talking about, where he's coming into the locker room and the players are horrified by what's happening. Doc Rivers is horrified by what's happening, and he is completely oblivious to everyone else's reaction in and around what's happening. And another incredible performance through the first episode is Kelly O'Coin, who plays Andy Roser. And it is the most obsequious, just awful person that he just absolutely nails, because he's the only one that kind of sees it both ways. Like, he is beholden to Sterling and trying to make sure that Sterling gets what he wants and trying to manipulate his position to make sure that Sterling continues to get to do what he wants. But he's also not a crazy person, so he understands how odd and weird and crazy the whole thing is simultaneously, and that he kind of threads the needle between both worlds. It's just it's a terrific performance.
Well, Andy Roser, I think people like him, and I knew Andy a little bit when he was with the Clippers, not well, but people like him. There comes a point where you just accept this is part of the package. Like, this is the deal. If I'm going to work here, I'm not going to be somebody that changes it from the inside. Like, you're not going to be some type of social justice warrior who manages to reshape the Clippers organization. It's, how do I keep my bat bleep owner from bleeping the bed publicly every single day?
And
that's my job.
This is the part that's so weird to me. And there's a 6-part series, and I've only seen the first part. But again,
I watched it last night as well.
We know the beats of the story, so there aren't really spoilers necessarily because we know how the story ends and everything else. But here's the part that I've never quite been able to wrap my head around. I understand that the league is 30 teams now. There's this little club that once you're in, it's very hard to kick you out. But like you, Pony, what ultimately got him set aside, what was the terribly racist and homophobic comments he made about Magic Johnson and all of the other stuff that became part of this story, ultimately declared incompetent by his own family so they could sell the team out from underneath him. But his transgressions, racial transgressions, housing discrimination, like all these things, they were right there for anybody to take a look at. And that the NBA, which is a predominantly black league, I don't know what the number is, but most of the players in the league are African-American players. and that they had this open racist as one of the owners, and everybody just kind of like, yeah, what do you want us to do about this? Was amazing to me that it took the Stiviano's recording of him saying and then putting it out for the world to listen for it finally to get terminal velocity to get him shoved out the door. Like that took 30, 40 years for that to happen.
The reason it happened at that point is because they had him dead to rights. He was
convicted in court of housing discrimination. I mean, that's pretty cut and dried.
It's really, really bad, but that is unfortunately not something that gets paid attention to as much. And the uproar, certainly then, I mean, you never know. Donald Sterling went down in the age of the internet and the age of social media and the age where video and audio recording started becoming the proverbial smoking gun.
Yep.
And also, this was something that he did. I mean, it's ironic because Magic Johnson is the one black man that doesn't need our collective protection.
Right.
Like Magic can handle his own battles. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Donald Sterling saying these things about Magic Johnson was, for a lot of people, a bridge too far, as opposed to all of the nameless and faceless minorities that Donald Sterling spent so many years completely screwing over, that took him to federal court and things like that. Like, when Donald Sterling was ultimately removed from the league, it was the equivalent of Al Capone getting nailed for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Like they
just needed a thing.
Well, the stuff that he said about Magic Johnson, as bad as it was, that's not even like in the top 10.
It's not
reasons.
on the greatest hit list.
Right. And this, by the way, too, and I enjoyed Clipped as well. The one thing I am concerned about is that they are setting up, for really narrative purposes, Shelley Sterling to be too sympathetic. Shelley Sterling deserves no sympathy whatsoever. She was an active participant in the slumlording and discrimination that Donald Sterling was a part of. And I am concerned that because Sterling is so loathsome as, both a person and a character, and you see the open misogyny and openly cheating on his wife with the Lady V and this stuff happening, that they're setting up Shelley to kind of be triumphant at the end.
We'll see. But I think you're right. It certainly felt like after one episode, it felt like that's where it's headed. She just
does not deserve that.
Emily, I know that you are a fan of Jackie Weaver.
She's an awesome actress.
She is so good in this part.
I'm excited.
She is so good in this part that the only person, and I don't say this as a criticism, but rather just as an observation. Ed O'Neill is such a famous person that it's hard. You see Ed O'Neill. And he does a really good job as Sterling, and he's just a despicable character. But I'm looking at Al Bundy. I'm looking at the guy from Modern Family. He's Ed O'Neill. He's just so famous. And not that Lawrence Fishburne isn't, but he's played a million different things, so you can kind of do it. You're just looking at Ed O'Neill because he's Ed O'Nell.
Okay, JJ.
How was Cleopatra Coleman?
Terrific.
She's good.
Terrific.
Great.
Yeah.
JJ Redick is going to be thrilled with, they apparently decided to cast a male model for him.
Dude, that guy's like, Susan goes, does JJ Redick really look like that? I'm like,
JJ Redick is still
he's handsome.
A handsome man.
This guy looks like a Calvin Klein model.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I think I've seen you in Armani billboards.
Billboards.
And also, too, I mean, this is a casting that 99% of the people watching this will not have picked up on, and I don't even know how important this guy is over the next 5 episodes. They nailed the casting of Alvin Gentry.
Yes,
that guy.
When he goes to kick the guys out of the locker room,
that guy looks.
It's spot on.
He looks exactly and has the same Alvin Gentry voice.
Okay, kind of like the droopy eyes, like the whole. It's perfect.
He looks exactly like Alvin Gentry.
So I don't think Lawrence Fishburne looks a ton like Doc Rivers, but my goodness, does he embody who he is? Like,
does he nail the voice?
He doesn't really try it.
Right.
Okay,
and I think it's smart because attempting to do that voice take after take after take, if that's not your actual voice, you're going to destroy your vocal cords.
Well, I can't wait to watch it. I got to watch it like a noob tonight, but I'm excited on Hulu.
This is the first, and I would assume only time that this is ever going to happen that I've seen something before you, at least one episode.
It's shocking.
We're in uncharted waters. Absolutely. Factor Gaps coming up next. It's Trav and Slee. Andy's in for Slee on 710 ESPN. Next Gen. You know about NextGen. They're the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. NextGen, the best in the biz. And that's just not my opinion. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. And it's supposed to be in the 90s this week. In the valleys, it's up in the 90s, which means it's going to be hot. You're going to want to run the air conditioning. Why not pick up the phone and call NextGen? 833-3-NEXTGen. 833-3-NEXGEN. And you can say goodbye to all of your AC, heating, or plumbing problems. They're going to come out. They're going to fix it. They're going to make sure it's running at its absolute best. So all summer long, you're nice and cool in your house, ready to go. Call 833-3-NEXTGen. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. Or you can go online at nextgenairandplumbing.com to schedule your appointment today.
Day 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's cap. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
no, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Aloha. Aloha.
I'm continuing with my Mandy's 3 campaign for Producer of the Year because I'll be taking over the Mason Island show. I'm producing their show as well. So double duty today. Double Emily. I'm here times 2. So just get ready for a lot of Emily on Mason Ireland.
You have to actively court the Mason and Ireland audience for votes as well.
Course.
Oh, this is your one shot, Emily.
Well, this is me being me.
You are front and center in front of this other audience.
Yeah.
You need to hoard it.
Is
I didn't
Greg
make a
sick
what's up
or
fool.
What's going on, Laura?
But Greg's got a thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it in the break.
That's now I'm intrigued.
Never mind. I gotta make my what's up fools really, really good. That being said, maybe I'll repurpose them.
I was gonna say.
No. Emily, you got to go above and beyond.
I
You're
know.
courting this new vote.
I gotta do it. Well, okay. Maybe we'll work on this in the next segment. I need to know what's the Mason Island audience. What do they like the most? What do they get most
Anything
interaction
that makes
with?
fun of Greg.
Okay, perfect. I got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. So yesterday, I had 2 pieces of furniture that came in, and I had my roommate, and he was gonna help me, but then he had a date. So I was like, okay, I don't really want to wait around for you to come back to start building this stuff. So I was like, I'll just do it. How hard could it be? Actually, I was very impressed with myself. I did do it really well. I built 4 chairs, I built a table, and I built a coffee table from like just
2
the material.
tables and 4 chairs.
Yes, 2 tables,
Wow.
4 chairs in about 4
Bob
hours.
Vila over here.
I was feeling very accomplished with myself. I was very happy. So when you build one thing, you think you can build anything. Trap, factor, cap.
Cap. There are a handful of things that I can execute, like what you're talking about, Em. Sometimes you get that prefab furniture, you just screw it together with the Allen wrench and all that stuff. I can execute that, okay, but the idea of doing anything that requires some sort of independent construction or thinking outside the box, I got absolutely nothing for you. I am the least handy person on the face of the earth. Hard cap.
But like Legos.
Legos are easy
because you can.
It's piece by piece. Put the yellow piece on top of the blue piece. Put the red piece on top of the yellow piece. You can't mess that up. But if it's just here are the pieces, figure it out. I got no chance at all.
Andy?
Also cap. I mean, for example, like the IKEA type stuff, it is meant to be easy. Like it's meant to be done even if you have no skill.
But okay, IKEA gives you nothing though. At least other places that give you like a little bit of
Doesn't
stuff.
IKEA do the one that has? I think it's called an exploded diagram, where you like it looks like everything, like it literally blew up, and all the pieces are where they're supposed to be if it exploded.
IKEA,
that's impossible to decipher. I can't do it.
They have no words of any kind in the
Faceless
description.
figures.
It's all just pictures.
Yeah.
That does not help me at all. I have a penchant, by the way, for anything that is like IKEA-esque, those type of put it together. I've put so many things together with like the tabletop upside down, or I put a shelf in our house together backwards, where like the shelves apparently were supposed to be jutting towards, I think, against the wall. And as it turned out, I had them going opposite way. So it looked like this like descending staircase.
I am an automatic yes for any sort of, for an extra blank dollars, we'll put it, yep, go ahead and do that. I have no shot.
All right, Jorge?
Yeah, for a couple of tall cans, I mean, I could have handled
You
this
know
for
that.
you. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Like, 3-pack for $10. That's wrong.
I could have gotten somebody, but I wanted to do it myself.
No, that's cool. No, I love doing that stuff. For Gael, I built a crib and I built the dresser. I put our bed, the bed frame together. I used to change the oil on my Harley. I can change the oil on my cars. I'm very handy. You guys need frames put up. I'll go put up your frames.
I'm super jealous of you because I've never felt like less of a man, a parent, an adult, or anything than when it comes to, hey, can you build the crib for the kids? No, I can't. Well, can you at least hang this thing on the wall for the kids? No, I can't. I can't do a damn thing.
I was extremely proud of myself when I put together our daughter's crib. That's one of the only things my wife and I did it together. Like it was a 2-person job in that you don't have long enough arms.
You got to hold up the 2 sides.
Right. But I was very excited when we put that thing
Plus,
together.
I'm cheap for $200, so we can basically get anything done. And vote for Emily, everybody out there. Come on.
It's the access code. Don't use it. My cousin's birthday is today. Shout out Jacob. Happy birthday, Jacob. He is a firefighter in Savannah. He's awesome. But he's a year and 2 days older than me. So he and I have always been very connected. And so him and I have always been like, basically, he's my brother I didn't have. I had 3 sisters. And so I always grew up having birthdays with him. And he used to be like kind of like that protective older guy figure in my life. So there's someone in your life that has always felt like your sibling that isn't your sibling. Andy, factor cap.
Cap. I mean, I have a really small family. That's part of it. Like, I only have 2 first cousins, period. Like, my mom had one sister who had 2 kids. My dad had a sister who never had children. Like, I come from a very, very small family. So even though I was close with my 2 first cousins, the age difference between us prevented it from ever feeling like that much of a brotherly, sisterly type thing. So, Cap.
Trev?
Real quick, before I answer your question, it's your birthday in 2 days?
I said that his birthday is 2 days before mine. Yes, my birthday's in 2 days.
I just make sure I had my math right.
I wanted to say happy birthday, Jacob.
I know, no. I understand.
The day of Emily is
and
coming.
Everybody here always makes fun of people for saying it's their birthday.
I am not making fun of you. I am simply clarifying my order of operations. So June 6th. Yes? Okay, got it. Look, it's even written down right there.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
I have all of yours saved in my phone.
I know you do, and that's why I want to reciprocate because you make it nice for everybody else. The answer to your question is Cap. I have one brother, but unlike you, Andy, I come from a big family. Like, my mom is one of 10 kids. My dad is one of 5. So I have cousins falling out of trees all over the place. My mom's youngest sister is only a year and a half older than I am. So the point being is that I've had ample opportunity for what you've described. Only later in life have I gotten much closer to a few of my cousins. My cousin Mac, who's 20 years younger than I am, when I was 25, he's a baby.
Right.
So we didn't have really any sort of relationship. But now that he's 30 and I'm 50, I love the guy. I love hanging out with him. And he's like another brother that I text with. We exchange, calls and all of this stuff all the time. He's terrific. I wish I would have had it sooner.
Jorge?
Cousins, a few growing up, but they moved out of Colorado, so we kind of lost that touch. But friends, I've known Carlo, I've known Laura for over 13 years. We went to school together. We basically came into this business together. It was just one of those things. Also, Kevin and Ofo, the brothers, they're from Guatemala, and I met them, same thing, when I started this business. And to this day, they're like family. Like, we still treat each other like family, and then, we get to talk and hang out.
You and Laura do act like siblings.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Laura is, I've known her, like me, and so it's, we do act like siblings, actually.
All right, so this is a thing that's been trending on my side of TikTok, and it's just girls being like, this is the elite combo. This is the elite combo, and it's like the ideal lunch for this one brand of woman. And I'm like, I really relate to that. So the ideal lunch is chicken Caesar salad, a Diet Coke, and a side of fries. So this is an elite combo. Jorge Fetter-Cap.
Mine is a salad. I just, it's too much greens for me.
But
the
see,
fries.
you can say you had a salad, though. And then also sometimes chicken Caesar salad is good.
Okay, then Cap.
There's clearly a right answer, Emily.
No, not for me.
Remember, it's fact or Cap. Like, you're allowed to say Cap.
Cap. No,
maybe it's at the draft, and no one can say anything I don't want to hear. Trev?
Yeah, it's Cap for me. The 2 of those 3 items are something that I don't really care for. I mean, I'm trying to think. Susan, 2 of those 3. She liked the salad. She wouldn't have the other 2. Yeah, I don't think that's the sweet spot.
I'm also going Cap, and the reason is, while I enjoy me a chicken Caesar, I enjoy me some fries. Not a big soda drinker, but whatever. Sub out a drink. It's not an elite combo because it's too easy. Like, it's too accessible. There's nothing particularly special about it. So therefore, I don't think it can be elite.
For it to be an elite combo, doesn't it have to kind of be naturally put together too? Like, this is a very...
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Because when you go to a restaurant and say, I'll have the chicken Caesar salad, which I think we've all, maybe not Jorge, but everybody else has probably ordered at some point in their life. They don't go, do you want fries with that? Like, you'd have to order them on the side.
I'm going to go to bat for Emily on this one. Like, I've ordered a side of fries with a salad as well.
I didn't know that was okay. I thought they'd kick you out of the restaurant. I'm going to start doing that.
You're satisfying both cravings. So honestly, sometimes I want a salad. And that's not
you can absolutely do that. It's just, like I said, I don't consider that elite. Like, those are pretty standard, basic, easily acquired foods.
Basic, but you can make them very good with a few tweaks, and then it can be really
good. A couple tacos and carne asada fries.
Let's go. And a
Mexican Coke, bro. That's the ideal meal. It's
pretty good.
For a white girl, this is pretty elite.
Okay.
It's not bad. Like, I don't like Diet Coke.
I had not considered the racial component. For a white girl, this is pretty adventurous eating.
White girl wasted off of a Diet Coke.
Like that is.
An Aperol Spritz.
I saw somebody having those the other day, and they look so good.
Spritz?
Yes.
Oh,
they're
so
pretty.
good.
Like, it's a pretty-looking drink. Ugh.
I love them.
Aperol's gross.
Okay, but honestly, I've had some pretty good Aperol Spritzes. I think you need to have more of the citrus.
Okay.
When you do like a big, chunky orange peel.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I just saw, actually, I want to say it's in Trader Joe's. They sell these like pre-mixed Aperol
No, thank you
cocktails
on that
in a
one.
bottle.
No.
Like, it does not look appealing.
Best player, better team. That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Man. Well, I'm very
9 minutes in front of noon on a live imaging Tuesday on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Andy sitting in for Slee. That song you hear is Tierra. Tierra will be there at the Mandy's as well, as we've announced today. Get your tickets now, ESPNLA.com. Click on the Mandy Awards logo, and bam, get your tickets to Mandy's 3, Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. Pay attention, Jorge. You know, you're not DeAndre. You haven't been doing this for 5 months.
See, now what?
I don't know.
Did the website go down again?
What does this mean? He's doing this.
I want you to pot it down.
Pot it down.
Oh,
I wanted the Mandy's music.
Okay, well that doesn't.
We've been working together for 6 years. You know me.
All right.
You know? That's it. I'm
There's
voting
so
for.
much going on.
I'm voting for DeAndre for associate producer.
Oh, please go for it. Come on.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? That's the motto of the show here. Who cares?
It's like
No,
putting
the motto
of
of the
your
show
vote.
is we don't hate you. We figured that
It's like
out
putting your
earlier.
vote to a third party. It's like, okay, good job.
Are
good
you
luck.
just going to throw away your vote?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
Go
am-
ahead and throw
Well,
away
this is
your
what
vote.
happens. Here's how it happens. When we lock the website for the Mandy's tickets for 10 minutes with an access code,
Well, Emily has turned out to be pretty prescient.
I get a
She
little
knew.
upset. Oh, Emily, no. Emily was waiting to tell me that to see the explosion. She was sitting on that for 2 minutes. Like, see, I don't think they're going to take
She
it down.
had to build a little further.
Honestly, I thought this meant put the access code in.
That was good. I'll give you that. That was a good bet. That was a good bet. That's why you're better than the others.
That's why he's
Got the vote back.
two-time winner.
What's the access code?
Yeah, Chris, you're going to get me twice today because I need Mason and Ireland as well. So I got.
Oh, you're doing Mason Ireland today? Corporate
am.
Greg's out today.
Yep.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to bring this up because I just saw a tweet.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with the saga that is going on with Raider Rubin and Mason and Ireland? Actually, Mason and Corporate Greg.
No.
So I love Raider Rubin.
So do I.
Huge fan.
Shout out.
So he helped. He's the 3252s, which we've been part of with the Old Morning Show.
Sure.
They've got the 420 originals. They've also got the club. Now, what is the club? It's a Pride club because that was Pride Night that Mason was part of. So basically what happened was Raider Rubin helped set up Mason to be with the 3252s. And this has been building on the show for weeks. And then Mason Corporate Greg did not hang out with Raider Rubin's squad.
Okay.
They hung out with the other squad, which was, I believe, the Pride group. Raider Rubin is not happy. Now, I get it.
I do,
I
too.
understood it on Saturday or Sunday morning when I started seeing the tweets. I understood it on Sunday night. I understood it on Monday and Monday
We're
night.
still going.
Raider Rubin, I love you. They made a mistake. They've apologized. Unless you plan to, jump them at the Mandy's, which I wouldn't advise.
Don't do that.
We do have security.
Don't
we know our
do
audience.
that.
We're secure. We're ready. Listen, I love it. I love you, Raider Rubin. But, I get the bit. They really do. I looked in their eyes yesterday, and I said, Mace, what did you do to Raider Rubin? And he genuinely feels bad. And so does Corporate Greg. Don't make them keep feeling bad. They got thin skin, that show. Okay? They got thin skin. We all know that.
Ooh, I'm checking out right now Raider
Right.
Rubin's timeline.
It's all Mason
It's
and
gone
Greg.
dark.
Have we gone dark?
No. I don't mean like it's gone dark like he's logged off.
No. We've gone to a dark place.
It has gone to a dark place. Very, very dedicated.
When was the
to
last
Mason.
post?
The last
was like 10 minutes ago.
2 hours ago.
Okay. Well, in the communities, it's popping off.
Yeah, his own timeline. Last post was 2 hours ago. Well, maybe 10 minutes ago. There is something. There is something in the Travis and Sliwa community.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love your Raider Rubin. And now he's gone dead me out to jump in.
No, this is becoming
And
very laces
Omar
out.
Lopez. And these guys love to continue the bit. And I love continuing the bit. I'm just going to say this. They do feel bad. And you can let them off the hook a little bit. And listen,
if they're genuinely remorseful, then you got to let them up.
And here's the other thing.
Or not.
You got to know who you're dealing with. Mason, when he gets excited in the big space like that, he's going to forget things. And then Corporate Greg forgets things. He's not the best producer.
See, even when you're trying to cover for somebody who's shots fired.
I'm just saying, they didn't mean.
Oh, Raider Rubin has responded.
To me?
To all of us.
Oh, okay.
Which?
It's all a bit with 4 crying emojis.
Yeah, but you can't use my bit. You can't do the bit.
I'm just telling you what he said.
You can't do the bit excuse when you're tweeting nonstop about
It's a bit off.
Well, it's commitment to the bit. You of all people.
No, that
preach
is true.
Commitment to the bit.
But I think others aren't as committed.
Well, everyone needs to be in on
the
the
bit. Raider
bit.
Rubin feels bad, but if they made an honest mistake, they made an honest mistake. What do you want from them? If they apologize, they apologize.
Raider Rubin, listen, man, the 3252 is a whole family. It's different groups there, right? So think of it as a family reunion. Just because you got ignored by, these guys.
Well, according to him, it's all a bit. We're just the ones that don't get it.
Look, hey, if they go to the next game, I'll join Mason. And
you'll make sure you make it right.
And I'll make sure we go to the 420 originals. How about that, Raider Rubin?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Everybody's happy.
I mean, if it makes Raider Rubin feel better, I'm sure Mace was as high as everybody in the 420. Like he was with them in spirit.
So when we brought on Yachtly Crew at the Whiskey a few months ago, Cappy and I and Mace, we walked down the stairs onto the stage. All the audience originally thought we were just the band coming out.
Okay.
So they start roaring, and I was like, "Oh, we're not the band, but hey, we're here for 710 ES." Blah blah blah. Mace said one thing, like I was saying, "You guys ready to see them play tonight?" Blah blah blah. I was lifting off song titles, right? Cappy did. Then Mace goes, "At Baker Street." That's the only thing he said. And then we walk off, and again, I'm like, "Mace, why didn't you speak?" Man, I'm so high. I was like, all right.
That's a good response.
Yeah.
Baker Street's a good song.
No, and they perform it amazingly. Yachtly Crew does. But I just, sometimes he forgets what he's, supposed to do. Mace is a big build-up guy. He's big on the build-up. He's big on the preamble. He's big on the pomp and circumstances. And then when it's showtime, sometimes it goes flat.
This is why I think this is a good example as to why Raider Rubin and many others should vote for the Trav and Slee Show as Show of the Year, because it's the show where we don't hate you.
Mm-hmm. You mean if you say you're going to... Remember that time you guys had lunch with listeners? Just randomly.
To Carnitas El Momo.
El Momo. We should go back.
We should go back.
Yeah.
But Mesa does a lot for the listeners. And Raider Rubin, I appreciate if it's just a bit. I don't think it's just a bit. But if it is just a bit, just know they're sorry.
And what's our motto that you came up with earlier today? We don't hate you?
We don't hate you. We'll take your calls. We don't hate you. Travis and Sliwa Show.
By the way, Mace is good, especially today with Emily, because they're listening on the way in. Emily, you get ready because they're going to go all calls because they do the sports graffiti segment.
I will take all your calls. I used to work on the Paul Feinbaum show. It was 4 hours of just calls.
Banging phones. Because that's their whole thing with Corporate Gray is Corporate Gray doesn't like to take calls. And I'll say this, as an insider, meaning I'm here.
Yes.
I don't think Corporate Gray doesn't like taking calls as much as he doesn't like the process of taking calls.
He doesn't want to answer the phone.
So he wouldn't have done well as the Jay Stu on the Rome show.
Well, Jay Stu is irreplaceable. We all know that.
Well, right. But he wouldn't have done well of this is my job prepping the phone calls. And see, here's the thing. And Em knows this from the Paul Feinbaum. I used to do it when I was a producer. It's not so much just pick up the phone and go, oh, what's your name, blah, blah, and put them on hold.
Yeah.
Because especially with the Feinbaum show, they're on hold for hours. You got to go check back. You got to ramp them up. Okay, we're going to you next. You ready, sucker? Are you ready?
You have a future.
Yeah. When you get on
Did
Romy gives.
Did you do that for Bruno?
I did it some for Bruno, and I did a lot for the morning show.
Yeah.
Raj and I would prep him. But when you get that vine from Jim Rome, you got to be ready to swing and have a take and don't suck.
Greg will like this. The only thing I liked less than answering the phone calls and prepping the phone calls was booking the guests, and that was the job.
But by the time you reached your height, were you getting those big envelopes? You weren't doing any of that.
No. We
remember love.
Yeah.
But I wanted to really get on by saying
that's Primo.
I remember some years ago.
Now Primo is a
Kenley
legendary talk radio caller.
The guy. He was not the guy. He was coming in.
And I think Primo, the best part is that you could just pot him down, start talking, pot him back up, and he'd still be going.
Yeah.
It's like about old tyrannical Gruden.
What am I blanking? Yeah, it'll come back to me. What else, Chris? How are our ticket sales going? We sold out yet?
Not yet. Go now, ESPNLA.com. It's 12 o'clock in the Southland at KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Oh, you didn't know I had that one.
That was the old days, man.
The NBA Finals start, in 2 weeks?
It starts in 2 days, which is also another important day.
Your birthday.
Emily, is your birthday Thursday?
It's on Thursday.
Beautiful.
Thursday. I made a note of it. I have questions. Got a lot of things.
Could it be do. Oh gosh, I don't want to cheat though, but I feel like Emily. It's the gateway.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
Maybe.
I have an idea. Put a pin in that. We can circle back. We're going to do the NBA Finals in best team, best player. Which one matters more? It's Travis Slee, Andy Zimmerslee, 710 ESPN.
Southland, a live imaging Tuesday presented by Kia of downtown Los Angeles. Go see my friend Gary in there, the GM. He's shining his Rolex. And you say, hey, Gary, give me my Kia, sucker. And also, do you have any Mandy's tickets? Gary don't got them, though. They're at ESPNLA.com. Go on there right now. Get your Mandy's tickets.
I need 4, aside from mine.
You get 1.
4.
1.
I have 4 people that I've already said I can get tickets for.
Well, you can't. You
Well,
lied to
you're
them.
going to have to hook me up.
Yeah, I can hook you up. Go to ESPNLA.com
No.
right now.
I want the inside track. I want you to hook me up.
Well, you don't
then
need to
ask-
necessarily hook up. You got
Give
mail-
me the access code that apparently you need to order tickets.
Go for Emily. Mail-
God, I'm so upset about that access code.
Mailman Matt tweeted at us. He says, I'm super excited for the Mandy's 3. He got his tickets. He's really looking forward to introducing his fiance to us all. So
Mailman's
I'm
in everything.
excited
Yeah,
to see
he
your
shows
fiance
up.
too.
Christopher.
I'm still upset about the access code.
Well, we're beyond that. We've moved beyond the access code. It's open availability to
Yeah.
purchase your tickets. Let the access code go in and out. Just, in one ear, out the other. You're going to be all right.
ESPNLA.com. Buy them now because they're going to be gone. So the price is $49, which is less than last year. And I know last year, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. We listened to your feedback. A lot of it, we had a great show, but a lot of people felt the show was tough to get through when you couldn't get water, booze, or food. And that was simply a service issue. And I'll just say that Commerce Casino is working very hard to make sure the service at this year's Mandy is 1,000 times better. We've had meeting after meeting, conversations over there with some new people that are in line and running things. So we're very positive about this year's Mandy's. So to that point, we don't want you sitting in an uncomfortable chair all night. Everybody will be sitting at tables like Mandy's won. Every ticket for $49 is your admission into the Mandy's, the meet and greet with all the personalities before the show. Tierra Legacy is performing, so you get a live band. Then you get the live DJ, I almost said Crypto Ray, but DJ Ray from the Lakers, Ray on the mic, and then the Mandy show begins. You get dinner, and real dinner, like we're
Open
cooking it on an
flame.
open flame in the back. Bam! 2 cocktails. Not 1, but 2 cocktails.
Yeah, 5.
On us. On us. It's coming out of producer Jorge's wallet.
Yeah.
2 cocktails on us. You're going to go home with a goodie bag. You have a chance to win fabulous, fabulous prizes. We're going to have a few special guests, major announcements that you're not expecting. So be there Saturday, June 22nd. Get your tickets now at ESPNLA.com.
On that note, vote for me because I'm hooking you guys up with drinks. So
And
Warm tequila for all my friends.
exactly
sure you
out of my
come to-
trunk, homeboy.
our section of the meet and greet because we don't hate you.
That's right. The Travis Slee Show, where we don't hate you. It's a pretty catchy little slogan.
Yeah.
I like it. Would you like to make your case again, Em, for Producer of the Year?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to be both on this show and the show after this at Mason and Ireland. So I'm going to do my, campaigning on Mason and Ireland as well. So make sure that Mason and Ireland listeners are there. Call in all day. I'll take your calls. Let's see if something works. But yes, on Travis and Sliwa Show, we take calls. I talk to you guys and make sure that we're ready to go before we get on air. And we actually interact with you. We interact with you on our socials and everything as well. And I've added new segments this year. I try to make it all fresh for you guys and not just do repurposing of the same segments over and over again. I like to have, Rabbit Hole is different. The Snake Draft is different. So, Fact or Cap may be very similar to other segments, but we got everything else on our show.
I like Rabbit Hole, and I
Yep.
like the Hot and Cold.
don't
Mostly
like the
because
draft?
you have to do it all. No, I have to. The draft is a lot of fun. But
Andy loves the draft.
I love the
and-
draft.
well, you bullied
like
the
draft.
draft on a Friday the last time that you and I
I
were
know.
here together. But I like Rabbit Hole and Hot and Cold because that is entirely your.
Well, no, Rabbit Hole you got to do.
Sometimes I go last. I go last on Rabbit Hole.
But that
every
speaks
day.
to, that you love it because she does all the work, but she does all the work.
That's what I'm
Another
saying.
reason to vote for
no.
her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stay tuned for my What's Up Fool later on today.
What are you doing for your birthday on Thursday? You have plans?
I do have plans. I am going to, after the show's done, I'm going to go take a walk on
Okay.
the Strand, which is my favorite walk in L.A., and listen to music. And then I'm going to meet my friends and get pizza and beer with them. And then that's my day.
What day is trivia? Is that Wednesdays?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I'll see. It's basically the same friends that are going to be at trivia are going to be at pizza the next day. But I kind of wanted to be low-key. I was telling Andy about this. I feel like this is the first time I haven't been excited necessarily about my birthday.
This is your 28th birthday?
Yeah. So it just feels like
it's kind of a nothing birthday in the sense that it's not like 25 is kind of 30 will be a big deal. 30, and then after that, you just kind of get the zeros. Those are the only ones that get celebrated.
I was hoping we go after the show and get a little street hot dog. You know, a couple more.
We can get a street hot dog if you want to get a street hot dog. My walk is not scheduled at right after the show's done.
So we get a cocktail? I could go for a cocktail.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Cocktail, hot dog,
I'll
whatever
buy.
you want. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So we go to Ritz?
Sure. If that's what you want to do.
Olive Garden.
Well, let me tell you.
Chris isn't invited because he tells vicious lies about me.
I'm going to tell a story.
But Emily, I would be happy to buy you whatever cocktail you would want wherever you want to buy.
I'm just going to say this, and I've known Travis for a long time. And we were together in Houston. We hired a person to manage producers because Travis was going through them so quickly because he's very critical.
Yikes.
And that's not a bad thing because he was probably, from a compensation standpoint, the best sports radio producer ever. From a talent standpoint, I'd put you top 5 of all time, me being one of them. Anyway, but Travis is very critical about his producers because he was an amazing producer. I've never seen him offer gifts like this before.
Wow.
Or wanting to spend time with the producer other than to scream about how bad they are at their job.
I liked Mike Jacobson.
Okay.
That's one.
That was one.
And I like Emily. That's 2.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
But he's very, that's taken as a major compliment because Travis is very
It is
hard.
a major compliment. She does a good job. And if you would like your martini, I know you like whiskey sour.
Yeah.
Whatever you would like, you can have 2 because Chris doesn't get one.
Maybe we'll go to Smoke and Fire. I haven't been there yet. So we should.
I had a martini at Smoke and Fire last night, as a matter of fact.
Amazing.
We'll get the one with the
good
hat. You know, when the
the
Harry
little
Potter hat.
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm a traditionalist. Yeah.
But my family has traditions on our birthdays. We're like, we used to do the same thing whenever, because it's birthday month. So all three of me and my sisters, all of our birthdays within 3 weeks of each other.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a very quick succession.
What's going on 9 months before all your sisters are born? Anniversary?
It's our annual trip to Hilton Head usually.
Oh, there you go. That's okay. Mystery solved.
Hilton Head is for lovers.
And it's my parents' anniversary too on June 1st.
Oh,
so
well, yeah,
happy
sure.
anniversary to my parents as well. So we always do the same, and I'm always the last birthday. So what's fun about the last birthday of the birthday month is that my mom will be shopping for things and like, oh, Emily will like this too. So I end up with the most presents because I'm the last birthday in birthday month. And
would your parents put all your sisters, like, would you guys all have one big blowout, or would you get individual birthdays?
We'd get individual birthday parties. And on your birthday, when we were all living at the house, when we were in school, in grade school, we would walk downstairs. Whoever's birthday it is, we open presents first thing in the morning before school. You get to see everybody. We all have a birthday bag. So the best present gets put in the birthday bag. So you're excited to open that one. And it gets kind of spread throughout all of us. And my mom always, every year, writes us a note about what we did that year. It's like what we accomplished that year, everything to look back on, and I've kept them. And so every year she sends us a new one. And
Going
it's
how
like,
far back?
It's, probably like since I was like probably 7 or 8.
Wow.
And so then, every year I can go look back, okay, when I was 14, what did I do? What was that year like? And then from her perspective too, so it's like not my view of my own year, it's her view of my year, which I think is a really cool thing.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I might, it's too late now. That kids don't even care anymore, but I don't know. Maybe
but now I know what I'm
grandkids,
getting.
Maybe?
It's funny because like my parents send the things to me, and that looks like Lululemon. Ooh, that looks like a Hoka, but I can't open it until.
What are you shaking the bag like a?
No, it says
holding
from
it up to the
Hoka.
light.
Oh.
Outside.
No, it's
yeah.
not hard to crack the code.
Yeah, exactly.
See, another reason you should vote producer Emily for producer of the year, and the Trav and Slee show. We don't hate you as the
we'll get
show of the year
and stickers.
Yeah, we should get buttons. What are those like foam hats?
I can get a billboard. Write this down, Chris. We'll get a billboard that says "We don't hate you." ESPN LA 710.
By the way, a billboard these days, it could be anything. You can put a sign out our window through to the street. That's a billboard. If you're talking about like a real billboard, like we probably don't have the budget for that. But put a sign on your car and drive around in it. That's a billboard. It's a moving billboard, but it's a billboard.
I've been seeing these billboards for a morning show on a different radio station.
The Woody Show.
What?
The Woody Show.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty great because they've been going on for so long, and they had like, oh, I didn't think we need to buy these by now. I thought that was pretty.
The Woody Show is an incredible morning show.
I listen to them.
Have you guys seen those the digital ones that are on the roof of the car that turn over like a regular car? Like it could be on your car, my car, whatever.
You get paid.
I get it, but they're terribly distracting. Like I'm trying to read the damn thing. You're going 75 miles an hour down the freeway. I'm trying to read an ad for whatever the heck it is. Those things cannot possibly last. They're way too dangerous.
Well, I mean, look, when you drive down Sunset, they have these billboards that are basically like movies going on as you're going up and down
on a
Sunset.
flatbed, right?
Like,
on a flatbed.
on the flatbed, like above.
I miss
above
when the Marlboro
buildings.
Man used to move his arm.
Oh, yeah.
in the early days.
Would he take the cigarette to his mouth,
Yeah.
or is that the guy in the Frontier in Vegas?
Probably both, but
Yeah.
we didn't have a problem with the Marlboro Man.
I really didn't have a
He
problem.
was that your brand?
Neither would Charlie
Were you Marlboro Reds? Like,
No,
I am on only Saturdays for.
So
I'll do a
weird to me.
few. I'll do a few.
You're a Cools guy, huh?
no,
Cools, Newports.
no. My uncle did smoke Cools.
Did he really?
My
Menthols?
uncle, yes, he did. My uncle smoked Cools for many, many years. I vacillated back and forth between Camel Lights and Marlboro Lights.
Okay.
Never Reds.
I would have them occasionally.
Can we
but-
puff a red before the Mandy start? In the back.
Boy, it's been a while since
Just
I've
throw
had
down
one.
a couple heaters.
It's been a while.
Would you
since
be
I've had
right
one.
back on the Marlboro horse if you took one down?
How about this?
I'm not going to lie. I worry that I will.
What if you just come out with a heater in your mouth just to do the road?
Did
Light
you
it up
see
on
the
stage.
LPGA? Oh gosh, I'm gonna forget her name.
Charlie Hull.
Charlie Hull. Did you see her?
No, she had a couple heaters?
She was at the U.S. Open signing autographs with a dart just hanging out of her lips,
Okay.
and she's like inhaling a big puff of smoke, and she's just going down, just signing autographs, smoking cigs. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Remember for the bear, we had those costumes with the fake
Yeah.
cigarettes. I can get you fake cigarettes if you need them.
Weren't those
at Candy.
candy that you got us?
No, they're just fake. It's like it's not paper,
it's
but
not
like
the
it's
same.
rock.
Here's what I'm going to say. John Daly's lifestyle, it may not be perfect.
It's full
But
of Diet Coke.
he's Diet Coke, M&Ms, heaters
Spunk
nonstop.
Myers.
I love Tiger. He's the reason I play golf. But now when they're together, guess who's sweating profusely and looks unhealthy? It's not John Daly. John Daly looks like Santa Claus. He's full of life. Everybody's he's smiling. Tiger is sweating through his shirt.
You see that picture of Tiger from over the weekend at the?
I did not.
At the poker table.
No.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, is it
It's not a flattering photo.
alarming?
Yeah.
Not flattering in. Just send it to me. Yeah.
He's still got some stuff going on.
You got to see the Charlie Hull picture. You're gonna
love
like
it. All right, 12:13 in the Southland. Have you gotten your Mandy's 3 tickets yet? Go to ESPNLA.com and get them for Saturday, June 22nd, the biggest party we throw all year. Mandy's 3 at the Commerce Casino. Buy them now, because by the end of the day, when we sign off at 7 o'clock and Cappy and I get in the car to go to OC, well, he's going to South LA, I'm going to OC, they will be sold out, sucker. Oh, there's the Charlie Hull. I love it.
Beto knows her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does Beto know an English women's
She
golfer?
is big into boxing. We discussed this yesterday. She's very into boxing. He's met her through boxing circles.
Can she smoke in the boxing arena? Burn down heaters, rings.
Well, so I'm a big cigar guy.
She's actually now, Clinton Yates stopped by yesterday and he talked
CY.
about this. The big CY, she is on the list of athletes that he wants to meet and have a cigarette with.
I love it.
Like he's had a cigarette in the dugout with Jim Leland and with Ron Washington.
Oh, that's
this
great.
would complete the ring.
She looked like she knew what she never takes it out of her mouth, and she smoked like half the cigarette. Oh. It's terrific.
Oh,
look at that Tiger picture.
When you've
Yeah, it's not
smoked
great.
enough that you can keep that thing dangling in your mouth while going about your day,
Carrying on a conversation.
that's when you've made it.
I love the Tiger's
you've
arms
made
are
it.
still like Jose Canseco, though.
Oh my! Is that real? That looks
real.
photoshopped.
Is that real? Yeah, that's real.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Listen,
we
she's got some stuff going on.
we can talk about that picture coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. All right, Prize Picks. You've heard Al and I talk about Prize Picks. It is the largest daily fantasy platform in all of North America because it's super fun and it's super easy. And coming up for the NBA Finals, they're basically giving you a freebie. You know how Prize Picks work. You pick between 2 and 6 players, and you choose more or less on their statistical projection, right? You look at the stats, you say, ooh, I think that Shohei Otani is going to have more than a hit and a half. I think Shohei Otani is going to hit a home run tonight. It is more or less. But how about this? Jason Tatum, if he scores 1 point, it hits, right? The more or less is a half a point. They're giving you a freebie for the NBA Finals. So make sure you go to Prize Picks. Make sure you put the app on your phone. Make sure you sign up. And more than anything else, make sure you put in that code 710 because they're going to match your first deposit up to $100. You put in 100, they put in 100, and you can go have all the fun you want at Prize Picks, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks.
Together, baby. Together, baby.
12:20 on a Live Imaging Tuesday on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Live Imaging Tuesday made possible by our friends at Kia of downtown LA. Go see the GM Gary and say, "Give me my Kia, sucker." You want those Mandy's tickets? Give me my Mandy's tickets, sucker. You got to go to ESPNLA.com right now. Get them before they sell out. The biggest party of the year is happening Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. ESPNLA.com. $49 every ticket at a table. We're going to pick up dinner and 2 cocktails straight out of Travis's wallet. So don't miss it. Get them before they sell out. ESPNLA.com. You can also still vote on the Mandy Awards for a few more weeks. Get those votes in. Thanks to our friends at Joseph S. Normand. Injury attorneys you can trust. They're like family. Por la familia. 213-747-2000. You ready for the NBA Finals on Thursday? You'll hear them here. Thanks to our friends at Michelob Ultra. And Sedano's part of the coverage. He's on the sidelines.
Oh, nice.
All NBA Finals long.
Very
Hopefully
cool.
it doesn't go to Game 7, right?
No, we don't want a Game 7. Because
that-
Game 7 would happen the Sunday, the next day.
Oh.
And it would be we've researched. Unless our friend, the owner of Good Karma Brands, Craig Karmazin, wants to get the
plane.
PJ out.
PJ time.
Which I would find unlikely. So, yeah, it would be nearly impossible. He would have to leave at like 9 p.m. from the Mandy's, and we're just getting rolling. So why go through all that?
Yeah.
But maybe I'll make him go through all that. But we'll see. So, yeah.
Other than getting it done before Game 7, do you have any vested interest in this? I know Slee's like wanting the Mavs to do the right thing and knock out the Celtics. But are you vested in this in an emotional way? I know it should be a pretty good series.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch the basketball because I want to watch the basketball. I'm the rare Laker fan that, I mean, would I prefer the Mavericks win? Yes, I would prefer they win. But
Why?
Well, because you root against the Celtics.
Okay.
It's just sort of what you're trained to do. But that being said, I think there's an upside to the Celtics winning in that if they are ahead in the banner chase at 18, it creates even more pressure on the Laker front office to get their bleep together with this season.
If this is them operating without the maximum amount of pressure on them, what does it look like if you turn it up?
There's always more pressure. There is always more you can hear from fans. Like, think about, it's not apples to apples because I want to be clear. I don't think the Lakers are a mess at the level that the tail end of Frank McCourt.
No.
But think about how bad everything got. And it turned out it could get worse. I mean, unfortunately, tragically worse, before baseball eventually said he has to go.
Mm-hmm.
The point being, there is always more fan pressure that can be applied. There's always more internal pressure that can be felt. And a big catalyst for that would be the Celtics are now ahead of us.
You're
in that
talking
chase.
me into a scenario where I'm rooting for the Celtics because, quite frankly, I'm indifferent. I'm not a Mavs fan. I'm not a Celtics fan. And if the Celtics get one, that to me is I don't get it. Like I understand that people talk about that all of a sudden the Celtics are ahead of the Lakers.
I think,
are they like
if
this?
I'm being honest, first of all, are they really? Like more than half of those rings were before the league was integrated. Like the only black and white were the television screens. Like they're really.
I need to have an emotional component to really get into it, and I just don't have. I don't like the Celtics, but I don't the Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. They're all the same to me. They're all not Lakers,
right?
So I don't really. Oh, it can't be them. What do I care? I didn't get it. I don't care if Emily gets it or Andy gets it or Jorge gets it. What difference does it make to me?
I find this matchup really interesting because I know most Laker fans, if not all, are rooting hard for the Mavericks.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't want to see the Celtics win another championship, be ahead of them. They each have 17, all of that. But if the Mavericks win, I think you are eventually going to start seeing, because I've already started hearing from some of them, whether on Twitter at Cam Brothers or the YouTube comment section for Locked On Lakers. It's a podcast I do 5 days a week with my brother Brian.
Huh.
It's available anywhere you get
Anywhere?
your podcast.
How much does it cost?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It is never
That's a
behind.
steal.
What if?
a
But I
paywall.
can't see it on YouTube.
Were you not listening? I just said they leave comments in the YouTube channel section because there's a YouTube component.
There is.
Yes, but I've heard from some of these fans that are annoyed to see the Mavericks in this position with Kyrie Irving, a player that LeBron just now is talking about on his podcast with his future coach JJ Redick.
Right.
Certainly what it seems like. That he misses Kyrie Irving. He wishes Kyrie was still his teammate. LeBron was not shy over like the last year and change about how much he wanted Kyrie to be a Laker.
I understand I'm about to make a huge mistake here, but I want to try something.
But just let me finish the point.
Sure.
Kyrie could have been a Laker with LeBron, putting the Lakers in this position, LeBron, AD, Kyrie Irving, and the Mavericks made moves at the deadline for Daniel Gafford, for P.J. Washington. Those guys have been huge in this playoff run. They picked the right veteran minimum guy in Derek Jones Jr.
That is a much more powerful, compelling, and accurate argument to me as to the comparison of the two. The Kyrie piece is something that I want to get into, but I don't like this word, but the marginal acquisitions at the deadline that the Mavericks did, that the Lakers basically said we're out on, that is a fair criticism of the Lakers. I'm with Laker fans on that. The part that I'm not with them on is that, well, this is why we should have done the deal for Kyrie. First of all, I don't think the Nets were going to trade Kyrie to the Lakers. They weren't going to give Kyrie what he wanted.
The asking price was going to be massive.
That wasn't going to happen. But even if the asking price had been relatively attainable, Kyrie Irving is thriving in a very specific environment. Now, I guess you could make an argument that would say there's maturation and time and all these. Okay, fine. I'm not saying that that's not a part of it, but I don't know if it's the part of it. The part of it is a coach that he deeply respects, trusts, and connects with in Jason Kidd. The other part of it is very clearly Luka is the guy, and he's there to support. Not unlike when they were in Cleveland, and LeBron was the guy, and he's there to offer support. And on nights when you need to go do it, great. The attention in Dallas, while not a small NBA market, it's not New York, it's not Boston, it's not Los Angeles, and it's not even teammates with LeBron James in Cleveland. It is relatively quiet with Kyrie stuff. None of that would have been true here. You have a front office situation in Dallas that is stable and deliberate.
And the guy who runs basketball ops has known Kyrie since I believe he's a teenager.
There you go. The Lakers do not check those boxes. The Lakers did not check the coaching box. The Lakers do not check the attention.
The Lakers never check the coaching box.
They never do. But the expectations that you were talking about are different here than anywhere else. Maybe Boston's kind of sort of similar, but Kyrie does not get this result here. The result he's getting in Dallas, I think, is specific to Dallas or markets similar to that, and the Lakers aren't similar.
Well, look, I'm open to the possibility that it could have happened here, because if some of the stuff, like whether you want to call it a maturation process with Kyrie or a come to Jesus moment of like, no, really, the market was soft for me when Brooklyn eventually said they would move me, and this really might be my last chance to play NBA basketball, which, to be honest, it felt to me for a while that Kyrie really didn't want to do. I think he loved the game, but not the job.
Right.
Like, some of these things may have hit Kyrie where he realized, like, no, I'm about to really waste an opportunity. I need to get right. So it's possible that it could have happened here. Do I think it was inevitable? No.
Every other head case / knucklehead / suspect should have to chip off Kyrie 5 or 10% of whatever they get in their second and third and 10th deals, because this hitting is the reason that the next guy who's quitting, who doesn't show up, who doesn't look like he loves playing basketball, but super talented, is going to get another chance.
And look, honestly, good for Kyrie. Like, if he figured these things out, it's awesome to see, because he just seems happy. And
he seems at peace.
Right. He seems at peace. He seems happy. And the guy is a spectacular player to watch.
He's one of the most fun players in the entire league to watch.
That was what was so frustrating with Kyrie. Like, beyond some of the statements and behavior and worldview stuff and things that I understand were objectionable, he was frustrating because it's like all of these things are taking you off the court. And you're so much fun to watch play.
He is. But he had that deal, and this is always a huge red flag for me, that a guy that's as good and as talented and as fun and all those things, that when they leave, everybody's like, thank goodness. That is a really, like, to be happy to see that amount of talent go, I don't have to deal with that anymore. Do you know how bad it must be in-house to have that amount of talent leave and you're thrilled to see it go?
I mean, look, I was one of the people that was very adamant. I
Me
would
too.
not touch Kyrie with a 10-foot pole. I don't want to go there. Could I have, for all the reasons we've discussed, could I have been, on Earth 2, proven wrong where Kyrie ends up a Laker?
That assumes this isn't Earth 2.
I think about that a lot. I think about that an awful lot.
It can't possibly be Earth 1.
I'd love to discover a portal to Earth 2. If this is Earth 1, I really would like to live
this can't be the best timeline.
But, I'm open to the idea that I may have been wrong about the result if the Lakers had just said, you know what, screw it, we're going to do it. But I don't think I was wrong about my reasons for not wanting to do it. I stand by my reasons.
Rabbit Hole coming up next. It's Travis Slee, and he's in for Slee on 710 ESPN.
Playing on a live imaging Tuesday. The Mandy Awards tickets are on sale now for Mandy's 3. Give me the music, Jorge. ESPNLA.com. Get your tickets before they sell out. ESPNLA.com, Saturday, June 22nd at the Commerce Casino. I see tweets of people saying they need Mandy's tickets. We're not giving any away, so this is your only way to get them.
Those are all tweets from Travis, though.
Other than the ones you set aside for me already, you mean?
ESPNLA.com. Get them now before they sell out. It's going to be an amazing night. It always is. Saturday, June 22nd, the Commerce Casino in the City of Commerce.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Do you feel what I'm throwing down? I just talked to Steve Mason. He's excited to get on the air Like Jerry Lewis, back before the MDA telethons back in the day. He's ready to sell his ass off today.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
He wants to have it sold out before Sedano could even kiss the microphone.
I think that's going to happen. I thought you were going to say that he's ready to apologize to Raider Rubin.
No, he's not going to apologize.
I thought he was going to say he's ready to light up the phone lines, okay? Because we don't hate people.
They might. We don't. Not here on the Trav and Slee
John
show.
will
We
be
don't hate
so
anybody.
happy. Oh, that's all John wants to do is take phone calls, which I think sometimes it's great, sometimes it's But you know what? Just like the rabbit hole. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes you just never know. Hit it, Jorge.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going.
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong,
Aloha.
especially with Mandy's
Aloha.
story, which, if you haven't got your ticket, get your ticket right now and see me win Producer of the Year. Let's go. Okay, so...
You'll be there.
I will be there. I will be present. So Rabbit Hole is whatever has been occupying our mind for the past couple of days and that we've been obsessed with for some reason. So, Andy, why don't you start us off?
Well, my wife and I both work primarily from home. She works exclusively from home. I do a lot of my work, like when I'm not here or whatever, from home, record from home, whatever. And my wife often has Law & Order and all the different variants of Law & Order on one computer screen while she's working on the other computer screen. She has two work computers that they've issued her. And because she's watching Law & Order, I am therefore seeing, looking over the screen every now and then, actors who had appeared on the show Oz, the HBO show Oz, because a lot of the same people went back and forth from like Oz and all the different Law and Orders and The Wire. And because of, she was watching and I recognized some actor from Oz, it took me down a YouTube rabbit hole of different kills on Oz and different prisoners who ended up dying on Oz. And I ended up watching YouTube clips of like Snake Coil, who was played by the Naughty by Nature rapper Tret. He was killed in a very horrifying way. He was basically, I'm trying to think of the way to put this, but he was up on I think like a jail cell, like almost crucified.
Okay.
But like sort of chained arms and legs against
Yikes.
it and like ripped from head to toe.
Oh,
there was Adebisi being killed by Kareem Saeed. You didn't see it. They were behind like a curtain that was in the cell, but all of a sudden it starts running blood red. You've got Schillinger, the head Nazi, who was killed during a jailhouse production of Macbeth. And then the one that still to this day freaks me out. In season 1, Nino Schibetta, he ran the Italian gang in the wild. He had mob connections, all that stuff. He was killed slowly over time because Adebisi, who I mentioned before, died, and Ryan O'Reilly were grinding up glass and putting it like fine level, grinding up glass and putting it in his food.
Ugh.
And eventually his innards all bled out. And to this day, I am scared that somebody did that in my food. I'm not joking. I am not joking. Like broken glass.
Do you have that many enemies in the world, Andy?
No.
I mean, Chris, after last year's Mandy.
I was going to say.
This was an excruciating death.
That sounds awful.
Oh, he was dying over episodes.
So no thank you to that one. So you guys don't play this, I don't think, but there's a movie.io, which is like basically a movie grid. But you can do the same thing for TV.
Mm-hmm.
And an easy hack is just put Law & Order in there. And almost everyone's been in Law & Order, CSI, Criminal Minds at some point in time. It's an easy hack for those.
Law & Order has had that thing like if you have not been in Law & Order, there's almost no chance that you're going to succeed as an actor. Because
especially if you're in New York City.
Right, a New York-based there's an LA equivalent. I'm forgetting what show it is, but if you are a New York-based actor and you never got a part in Law & Order, that's not a good sign because everybody gets it.
You will always recognize a name actor.
Oh, yeah.
Like in every
Big
single
name ones.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Julia Roberts had been on it.
Robin Williams had a really good episode, actually.
He was great.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he really was. He was great. We had mentioned before Oz. It was created by Tom Fontana, who also made the show Homicide. Robin Williams had an incredible episode as a guest on Homicide.
Oh, he everything he showed up in was great.
Cappy just texted me about Oz. How about when Beecher bleeped in Schillinger's mouth, defecated in Schillinger's mouth.
Ew.
Yeah, that's not great.
No.
What is
But
this
that
show?
didn't-
I've
that
never
didn't even
heard of this
cut-
show before.
You've never heard of Oz?
No.
Oh.
No, the worst part about that for Schillinger was he didn't even die. He lived.
So is this just a show about where people get murdered in very
It's a prison that's set in a maximum
it's essentially
security
a prison
prison.
soap opera.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I will watch.
It was aggressive, shall
Okay.
we say.
Okay, so you guys have seen that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are not fighting anymore.
Right.
So, I started...
Is it off? Officially off?
It's off because he had a
Tyson
health scare.
pulled out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a health scare. I think it was an ulcer or something, and it was in an airplane. So I started watching highlights of this guy, and then that led...
Of Mike Tyson?
Of
or
Mike Tyson.
Jake Paul?
No, of Mike Tyson. Yeah, of Mike Tyson. And then it led me to Julio Cesar Chavez fights. I just went down this rabbit hole of like different fights from different eras, and I'm texting Michael Thompson, hey, have you seen this one? I wanted other people to get involved in what I was watching, so it's just a bunch of boxing that I've been watching.
Well, especially when you get in those that have a bunch of videos, and you're like, okay, I'll watch one more. All right, I'll watch one more. I'll watch one more. And you end up, there goes an hour. You're just
it's like
gonzo.
8-minute ones.
I know.
Like, the last 3 minutes were,
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So just boxing stuff.
So my rabbit hole has been this song that came up. So I'm going to play the beginning of this here, what is used in a TikTok, and I'll explain the TikTok format. So this is the song that's being played.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Okay, that's it. Need to bring it down. That is
Did you go like
being
this to
used-
me?
Put in the access code.
So
Gnarls
basically,
Barkley.
I remember when I lost my mind. And people are going to do the beginning of that song, and then they do a stitch, which just means that they kind of combo like an older clip or a different clip, with a time in which they were so enamored with a crush, they did something so cringy and stupid. So my favorite one that I saw, and then it's a bunch of people like posting their different versions of this. My favorite one I saw was this guy who's like, the song's playing at the beginning of the song, and it says, the text says, my crush was really into guys who do cosplay.
Oh,
and
no.
so the next clip is him, like, kind of sultrily doing, like, cosplay really badly of, like, exactly, of, like, Mutant Monster High or something like that, and his face is, like, yellow, and he's trying to be, like, sexy in front of the camera, and it's literally, it's like, you could not pull that out of me for anything. I would not put that on the internet for everybody to see, but a lot of people saw
I'm
it.
not trying to, whatever, float your boat. I'm good with. You do your thing. The cosplay thing is very peculiar to me.
There's another one where this person was like, my crush is obsessed with Pitch Perfect, and then there's
I
a
do
guy.
like Pitch Perfect.
Well, then it's a guy doing the do 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 to the camera, and then it was like, my crush is obsessed with music, and so he was playing something on his recorder. Like,
I mean, I think back to some of like just the play or the set list for mixtapes that I make back in the day that might make me cringe. I feel way better now.
Yeah, you're fine. you're
compared to the cosplaying obsessive, I'm great.
Unfettered access to the internet at a young age, not great for non-cringe with.
Yeah, that you can record yourself at any given time from the time you're old enough to know how to hold one of these in your hand. That's not great.
That's what's so crazy, though, because when we were growing up, the whole idea was for nobody to see the shenanigans you were doing.
Of course.
Now the goal is everybody see it.
Yeah, no, I liked mine better. I like
way better.
My shame was for me, not for everybody to see. So I've told you this before. When I get ready to go to bed, I'll turn on the TV, and I will more often than not turn on an old episode of Cheers, and I end up falling asleep. So I'm watching one last night, and there's a woman that Sam Malone is dating in this one particular episode, and I'm looking at her, and I cannot place who she is. And I'm looking at her, and all of a sudden it pops into my head. It's the woman that George Costanza does the opposite with. He says, I live alone with my parents. I'm unemployed. My name's George. She goes, hi, my name's Victoria. And they end up together, and he does the opposite. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what else has she been in? I finally think, I look it up. I stumble into a rabbit hole of all of Jerry and George's girlfriends from Seinfeld. And I'm going down, and you talk about, we were talking about with Law & Order and all the famous people that have been on that show. a bunch of George's and Jerry's girlfriends. Skylar White from Anna Gunn is in one of those. She was,
Jennifer
I think,
Coolidge.
Jerry's girlfriend. Jennifer Coolidge. There's so
Kristen
many.
Davis.
A million of them. Terry Hatcher. Like, there's just a million of these people.
Was Carrie Russell?
I don't think Carrie Russell
she
was in Seinfeld.
She was too young.
Yeah, but it was just
Although not for
amazing
Jerry.
to me. So I'm just going through. And by the way, Jerry would do okay because he was famous and doing pretty well for himself. George wouldn't have gotten a date. George was a loser, and he's getting with all these unbelievable.
Lauren Graham was.
Lauren Graham
from
was
Gilmore Girls.
That was from the Lopper.
I mean, actually, take it one step further. Kramer.
Oh, yes.
Kramer was getting ladies like, you think George was a loser. George at least was semi-employed. Kramer's held one job, the bagel factory.
No bagel.
And he looks like Kramer.
Yes. Yeah, although George looks like George. So
at least George had a job.
Yeah.
Occasionally. Only really with the Yankees was he briefly employed.
Deborah Messing, too.
Deborah Messing was, she was the anti-dentite.
Yes.
I believe.
Well, the anti-dentite, the dentist in question was Bryan Cranston.
That's right. No, so anyway, that's what occupied 15 minutes of my. I'm like, she was on this show too, but it started
Sarah
with the
Silverman
Cheers.
went out with Kramer.
She's the one that they rolled Kramer up in the carpet and threw him in the Hudson River.
Yes.
Could do this all day. The Dump, Super Crosstalk, coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Your vehicle, is it ready? Is it time? Look at that little sticker in your window. Is it time for service on your car? If it is, head in your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Because for over 30 years, Valvoline's been taking care of you. Valvoline's been providing quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people like you, for busy people like me, who don't have all day to wait around doing this. You're in, you're out, 15 minutes. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and more. You just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. You don't even have to get out of your car at Valvoline. At Valvoline, you stay in your car nice and relaxed while basically a pit crew goes to work on your car, making sure that it's running at its absolute best. You can relax 15, 20 minutes. Take it easy. Close your eyes. Listen to a podcast. Listen to the Trav and Slee Show. And there are over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. So visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
For everything we haven't gotten to today, yes, it's time for the dump.
Reigning offense, aloha. Thank you. Put in the code.
Vote for Emily.
Vote for Emily, the show that doesn't hate you, the Trav and Slee show. I think these are all. We're going to see it. We got to zero in on this though. We have too many potential taglines. I really do. The Travis and Sliwa show. We don't hate you. It's just.
I got an idea. We should make a banner. That way, when we're at the Mandy's, we're taking our picture, like our group picture. We hold it. We don't hate you.
I love it.
Let's just do it.
I love it.
I'm down.
Reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, has signed a 2-year extension with the 49ers, averaging $19 million per year, according to sources. He will receive an additional $8 million over what was scheduled to make the first 2 years, while adding $24 million in guarantees. The McCaffrey deal is one of those deals that when it was made, you're like, okay, everybody knows McCaffrey's awesome. Everybody knows that he's probably the best running back in football. But dude could not stay on the field. He was constantly in the trainer's room, missing time. For the 49ers, he has been absolutely unbreakable. And I get why they want to do it, but can you be a guy that was hurt your whole career, go to a new place, and never get hurt?
It happens.
Apparently you can.
It happens occasionally. Like, I mean, different sport. Remember Zdrunas Ilgauskas?
Yeah.
The center with the Cavaliers?
Always hurt.
Spent like the first 3 or 4 years constantly having foot injuries. And then once he got past that, he turned into a really, really productive, like all-star caliber player.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the 49ers have also been the team that has benefited the most from injury luck the past 2 years. They've been so successful. They're big. There are 3 guys. Well, not Debo, but Debo's been injured. But McCaffrey and Kittle and their quarterback have been remarkably healthy.
Can I add something to it? Because I think you're right. Not only has that all worked out, the reason they got to their quarterback is because their other 2 guys did get hurt. Right? That Garoppolo goes down. Trey Lance goes down after a game or so. He never even got a chance to play. And you're thinking, oh, the injuries are going to devastate their opportunity, their window. And Purdy steps in there and has been, you simply couldn't have asked for anything.
I'm just saying, these have been probably the 2 healthiest years in Christian McCaffrey's career. I'm going to go more with what the rule has been rather than what the future is going to be.
And running backs in particular.
Or, I mean, look, and I say this knowing absolutely nothing about the training staff with the Carolina Panthers. Maybe the Niners training staff is just way better than Carolina's. Carolina is a badly run organization in every other way. Why couldn't the training staff also be
protected? The offensive line of the 49ers is better than the offensive line of the Carolina Panthers. Like, flat out.
It was today in 1974 where one of the most infamous promotions, not just in Major League Baseball, but in sports history, took place in Cleveland. It was 10-cent beer night, June 4th, 1974, 50 years ago. They sold about 60,000 beers that night to a crowd that's estimated to have been about 10,000 people. There were multiple streakers. There was Billy Martin managing the opposing team, who was actively looking for fights in right field in the middle of the game. There were 9 people arrested. And my favorite, there's a piece in USA Today that, if you are interested in this stuff, is terrific. It got so unruly that the concession workers basically just gave up and went home, and people were self-serving themselves beer during the entire thing. There were no police officers at the game.
What's wrong with any of that?
They had a 10-cent beer night and did not have any officers at the game. The only security were the ushers. The game ended with a riot in the 7th inning. The umpires forfeited the game, and one of the bleakest moments in Cleveland sports history took place.
I disagree. I think it was one of the greatest moments in Cleveland sports history.
How are only 9 people arrested? 7 went to the hospital,
police.
9 arrested.
Who was going to arrest them?
Good point. I don't know if you guys know this. I was reading this. They did another one later that year. That was not a one and done, okay, we nearly burned the stadium to the ground.
Why not?
Because you had a riot? Is that not right?
Butts and seats.
As long as nobody didn't get killed.
No, but 7 people were sent to the hospital.
Yeah, they survived.
Bought their tickets. They knew
what they were getting themselves into along the way. Coastal Carolina's baseball coach, basically, it was his last game. They got eliminated from the college regional, and he just basically decided he was going to have a, let me tell you everything that's wrong with college sports on his way out the door. And oh, by the way, he was right. He basically said his big takeaway was, what if in Major League Baseball, the NBA, and NFL, at the end of every season, every player was a free agent all over again? Would that work? And that's basically what we have in college athletics.
He's right.
He's exactly right. And that is why I get it. We're at basically the first lap of a marathon when it comes to figuring out all of this college sports stuff. But this stuff you can't be on a new team every year. That doesn't work. Because it doesn't make it fun to watch, quite frankly.
Well, but a coach can go to a different team every year.
John, I'm with the player empowerment. I like that they get money. What I'm saying as a sports fan, as a viewer of these things, when a guy that was on SC one year and is on Michigan the next year and is on Alabama the year after that, I'm okay with going once. I'm okay with them getting money and everything else. But every guy going to a new team every year, and mostly the good players, it just makes it far less fun
There's
to
a
watch.
difference between what you think is ethically right, which is the players being able to get this type of money, these type of endorsements. That is the way it should have been from the beginning, versus the aesthetics and the results. Like it has changed the product in a way that isn't as good, even if you recognize this is the change that needed to happen.
What if you only let them move once?
Doesn't work, because if you go from one dishonest jerk of a coach to another dishonest jerk of a coach, then you're stuck.
But they're not all dishonest jerks. I
Not
know
all of them.
I know there are many, but the
Most of them.
point being, if you are a dishonest jerk, and you get a reputation of being a guy that's not delivering, always saying, you're gonna stop getting players, and that guy will be down the road. If you have a guy that does it once in a while,
Did Bobby Knight stop getting players? Did Woody
not
Hayes
for a
stop
very
getting
long.
players?
Not really. He punched that guy from the Gators. That was
Right.
the end of the line for him.
Right.
Bobby Knight took a long time for him to stop losing players.
Right.
A
So
long
that's what I'm
time.
saying. I mean, the institution is bigger than the coach, but most coaches, particularly college coaches, cheat and are dishonest.
I get that. And I'm okay with the money. What I'm saying is there has to be something somewhere that tethers you to that school beyond 1 year. 1 year is just not nearly long enough.
Well, I mean, look, part of what makes college sports what it is are the storylines, it's the players. You grow that emotional connection to specific guys. If they're moving around all over the place, I mean, the NBA has actually gone through this. I think with, we talk about player empowerment and guys signing contracts and immediately looking to move after they sign it. Like, again, it's their right to do it, and they should be allowed, but there can be consequences from it. All these things can be true.
Jorge, you know what we should do? Not enter the access code to the Mandy's website, but rather a little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Is Mason in the house?
Should be.
Okay. Hopefully.
Walking
maybe.
in right now?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
There he is. Woo, woo, woo. So I got a chance to see both you guys at Clipped last night,
Yeah.
at the premiere for Clipped. I was telling Andy has seen it as well.
Yep.
I could not have been more pleased with what I saw. I
Unbelievable.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I think
it's fun.
Yeah, and I think people are going to love it. And I think that, I knew all these people, and I cannot believe how well they casted this thing with the big four. Lawrence Fishburne totally pulls off Doc.
He's the star in my opinion.
Jackie Weaver, basically, I forgot I wasn't watching Shelley Sterling. I think Jackie Weaver is kind of the sneaky home run hire there. And the person that's going to steal the whole show is that Cleopatra Coleman.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Who plays V. Stiviano. But the thing that I was worried about when Ramona told me they were doing it is I don't know if they can hire anybody to capture the weirdness of Donald Sterling. And he pulls it off.
Yeah.
I was stunned. His mannerisms,
I've only seen Donald Sterling on television. I've never seen him in person.
Sort of effete quality that Donald Sterling
Yeah.
has. That sort of like you.
It's one of the things that because he was such a bad person, he was such a racist, a misogynist, a corrupt person.
Yes.
You forget he was so weird. I mean, Donald Sterling was off the charts weird.
John, you worked for him for a while.
Yeah, for 3 years.
Yeah.
And if we had 10 hours, I could tell Donald Sterling stories for 10 hours. Maybe the weirdest person I've ever seen or met. Just stuff that all that stuff that's in Clip that you guys will see tonight. Clip debuts tonight. Now, do we know, does it debut on FX and then later on
That's
Hulu?
what I don't know.
Or is it only on Hulu?
I had a conversation
It's on
today.
FX. It premieres on FX tonight.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that's true.
2 episodes
I believe
tonight?
there's 2 tonight, and then it streams on FX, and then you can also obviously watch the series as it unfolds on FX.
What's the Hulu component?
Hulu, I think, is like the day after it airs.
Yeah,
it
normally
shows
it's
up on
FX
Hulu.
and then Hulu
right.
the day after.
I watched it on Hulu last night.
Oh, so
it was on Hulu?
Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's Hulu first.
Was it after 9 o'clock?
Something like that.
Yeah, because I think it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Midnight.
Give me the weirdest interaction you ever had with that guy. Because the movie or the TV show last night were like, okay, was it really like that? Was it really like that? Was it really like that? Because it's just so
Oh, not only was it really
bizarre.
like it, they actually dialed it back a little. I watched him walk into the locker room once with, his entourage of people. And these guys were in there showering just like they showed last night in the show. And he grabbed Lamar Odom's arm. And he goes, look at this fantastic black body. Can you believe this? And I'm sitting there like 5 feet away with a camera, by the way.
Oh, you were on TV? Okay.
I was doing post-game locker room stuff. Andy, you might have been there. And Lamar just kind of laughs and puts a towel around his waist and goes into the shower. And then he moves over to Darius Miles. And there he moves over to DeAndre Jordan. And that scene last night, you'll see it tonight if you watch, where Doc Rivers loses it, and Andy Roser says to him, Doc, this is the way we do things here. Our owner is used to a certain amount of access. And Doc just loses and goes, well, I'm used to a certain amount of effing normal. Get out. I'm shocked because Doc played for the Clippers that he ever took that job. Because he knew what he was getting into. I guess he looked at the roster. He saw Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. He said, I can win a title here, and if I do, I'll be immortal. And there's a scene where Doc wants to sign J.J. Redick.
This is so awesome.
It's my favorite scene in the whole show.
Yeah.
This actually happened. Doc comes in like first day on the job and says, hey, we got to tend to some business here. J.J. Redick is about to sign in Minnesota, but he's not signed yet. He's perfect to play next to Chris Paul because Chris is a point guard ball handler, and all JJ does is shoot. So if they double Chris or they double Blake, JJ is going to light it up. But I need $30 million to make this happen. And they said, okay, well, go talk to him, see if you can get him to sign here. So Doc does his part, goes, talks to Redick, talks him out of going to Minnesota, calls him and says, all right, we got a deal, $30 million guaranteed. And then Roser calls Doc and says, Mr. Sterling has decided he's changed his mind on J.J. Redick. And Doc says, why? And he doesn't know, but Sterling's on the phone. They're on a conference call. Sterling goes, you didn't tell me he was white.
Yep.
And Doc goes, what does that have to do with anything? He can shoot. And Don Sterling goes, yeah, no. And he goes, well, then I quit. Doc was going to quit.
Because Donald Sterling wouldn't sign a white guy.
Yeah.
How ironic is that?
Yeah, it's so weird.
And then Roser and everybody else talked him into the fact that if Doc quits, it's going to reflect horribly on you.
Yeah.
And so Sterling caved.
So that's the part I thought that was interesting. I have a reputation. Like, people know what I am. Like, when the Rivers character is explaining to him, if we renege on this deal, we're going to be the joke around the league. So, I have a wonderful relationship. Was he that oblivious to the way that the rest of the universe viewed him? I understand we all have blind spots, but
he lives in a weird sort of bubble.
He was the most oblivious person I have ever met. I mean, ever. I feel bad because Mace has heard me tell this story 100 times. But one time I'm at the Beverly Hills Hotel for a wedding, and I look across the pool. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 97 degrees. And there's a guy holding court in a cabana, and he's surrounded by all these super attractive people, men and women, all in their 20s. And I look closer, and it's Donald Sterling, and he's in an all-black suit on a 97-degree day, in the coat with a black shirt and black pants, introducing young hot men to young hot women and picking up the tab for all of it. And my waiter comes over and I said, "That's Donald Sterling, right?" He goes, "Yep. He's here every weekend, same cabana, and before you ask, he never takes off the suit." And he was sweating profusely. Didn't matter. He had appearances to keep up, and that's the way he wanted to do things. And the fact that he was flaunting V. Stiviano around in front of Shelley and thinking that he would never have to pay the piper for that is unbelievable.
Right. That's the weird thing is he paraded her around, and Shelley Sterling said, "Oh, he's had other assistants." Because he's had obviously other dalliances or whatever, but never before was it put right there in her face to say, "Look, here's who he's seeing now."
Well, I mean, like, for example, remember years ago with the D'Angelo Russell, Nick Young, Iggy Azalea thing?
Right, sure.
D'Lo putting out the video acknowledging Nick Young cheating. Iggy Azalea, I'm at least imagining, is aware that her fiance is an NBA player. He is probably getting around, and I can learn to live with this. Don't make me look stupid.
Correct. That's the whole thing. Don't embarrass me.
Don't embarrass me. Don't let everyone else know.
I imagine that is very common, not just in sports, but in entertainment, or anytime you're talking about a world of very rich, powerful people. It's
in that world. There are those relationships where it's what is it, the 100-mile rule or whatever it is. If you're 100 miles away, you can see somebody, but don't bring it home.
Right.
Don't bring your mess at home. That's basically what he did. Instead of 100 miles, it was like
100 feet.
It was 100 feet. It was 10 feet away.
They were sitting together courtside.
Yeah, 1 seat away from each other. Yeah.
So, John, you know all these people in real life, but and we'll see how it plays out over the course of 6 episodes because I keep going back and forth.
I can't wait.
I can't either.
They completely nailed it.
Last night, the Doc Rivers character, Lawrence Fishburne, was my favorite. I'm like, okay, that's great. Followed very, very closely by Kelly O'Coin playing Andy Rosen.
Yeah.
He was so. Is that as like I don't know, and I know the name, but I don't know what he looks like, his mannerisms.
I will say this. I feel a little bad for Andy that this is the way this is going to play out. Andy is not a bad guy at all. He was great to me when I worked for the Clippers for 3 years. I think he tried to be great to everybody, but Kelly O'Coin kind of nails him. Andy didn't want to upset anybody, didn't want to. His job was to keep. I always viewed Andy as trying to keep Donald Sterling at arm's length so it could run like a normal business, but it was a futile effort because anytime Sterling came in, Andy had to hit. I've told you guys this story before. This is another typical Donald Sterling story. So one year, the Arrowhead Pond, which is now the Honda Center.
Yep.
Okay, I know the guys that run that. And they cut a deal with Donald Sterling. They had been working on him for years. He would play about 5 to 10 games a year down there during the regular season. And one year, right before Staples Center opened, they cut a deal with him to play all of their home games in Anaheim. And at first when they approached him, Sterling said, "No, my friends all live in Beverly Hills. It's too far to drive." They said, "Donald, we'll give you a helicopter that will leave from the Santa Monica airport, and we'll give any of your friends limo service from their homes to the airport. The helicopter will take them to the pond and bring them back after the game." And he goes, "Well, you do it for every game?" He goes, "Yes, for every game." The deal they cut him was rent-free for a year. In other words, the Clippers pay nothing. They get the pond, and then the pond keeps all the concessions, parking, and that's how they get their money back. And then after a year, they re-examine the deal and come up with something fair. But they were convinced that once the people that go to Angel games started going to Clipper games, that he could raise his ticket prices. It'd be a whole new fan base. So Sterling finally relents, and him and Andy go down to sign the contracts. And the guys I know there put champagne on ice in the conference room. They got the contracts all laid out on a table. Andy and Donald walk in, and they send a limo to pick them up, and the limo drops them off in front, and they walk in, and they said, "Mr. Sterling, we're ready for you." And, there's contracts and pens laid out. All he has to do is basically sign it. Sterling goes, "Great. Where's your bathroom?" And he goes, "Down the hall on the left." He goes, "Go to the bathroom. We'll be right back." 5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. Andy says, "We're going to check and see what's going on." Goes down the hall. Can't find him.
He's gone.
Goes down to the where the limo was. Limo's gone. Calls him on the cell phone. I can't do it. It's too far away. I'm out. Oh. Never signed the deal.
Yep.
I mean, he did stuff like this all the time. And
how is he so successful running a business with
a good
his
attorney.
real estate empire? And this just
he had an
just
interesting
laughably
philosophy with real estate that I think he still holds
never
true today.
sell.
Ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Once he bought something,
Buy and hold.
Never sold it, no matter what you offered him. He could buy a building for $1 million. Just that you would come in and say, Donald, I need that building. I'll give you $100 million. No. It's my personal philosophy. I don't sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, by the way, if you drive down the Wilshire corridor,
it's all his stuff.
It's
all his stuff. What'd you make of the basketball scenes?
I thought, first of all, they're going to obviously dig into this Blake Griffin, Chris Paul thing pretty good.
I like that too.
Which is another interesting angle. The thing I like about it is there's
was
so
that
many
an open secret that they hate? I knew that they didn't get along.
I didn't know they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Was it well known?
I don't know if I would have used the word hate. I know, and Andy, you covered these teams. I was always under the impression that the Blake Griffin's best friend on the team was DeAndre Jordan.
Sure.
And I think what do you think?
I
think
think
DeAndre and Blake grew really tired of hearing Chris come down
He's an
from the
abrasive
mountain.
personality.
I was going to say, as opposed to all of the other teams where Chris
Paul
right.
Exactly.
Well, the one thing about Chris Paul, though, is he very rarely loses. I mean, every team he's on goes to the playoffs.
He is a great player, and he's a great leader for a while.
Right.
But eventually...
Then it wears thin?
I think it wears thin everywhere. I mean, he is psychopathic with this stuff.
Yeah.
And my interactions with Chris, I've gotten along with him really well. I was trying to work on a project with him.
Yep.
Like, I like him, and he's a great player. Not easy to play with.
Okay, let me throw you one non-clipped thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to Susan last night.
Okay.
And
Did
Susan...
you talk her in the massage chair?
I did not talk to her. By the way, I should have been talking to her into the massage chair.
We should have pregamed that beforehand.
No, she told me, and I don't know if you've made this announcement, that the official university has been chosen. Has it not?
Yeah. I've not.
Did you make that announcement?
I have not made the announcement.
Where's he going?
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly.
Wow, victory for you.
And my retirement fund.
You can now afford the massage chair.
Yeah. What changed his mind?
I think there was a lot of arm twisting, both by family members and outside influences, and I think he loved it. I really do.
Great.
I think when we went up there, he was like, he'd been there once before a long time ago and didn't really remember it all that well. Oregon was a place that he was very, very fond of. And, you get to see Oregon on TV. You get to see Autzen Stadium. You get to see Matthew Knight Arena.
Right.
You get to see these things.
And he wanted that big...
He wants the big sports experience. He went
yeah,
up there, and the endless parade of people coming and going from Darties, the endless activity in and around the university in downtown, it was really hard not to like it. So we were both very thrilled.
Congratulations.
Yes, thanks,
That's awesome.
That's a big win for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You got a little walking around money now.
Yes, it is. I said to him it was actually yesterday morning. He gets up, and I'm sitting in the family room, and I said, say, hey, today's kind of the day. Like, have you made your decision? Yeah. Would you like to share it with me?
You want to tell me what it is?
Yeah, Cowboy.
So just very monosyllabic.
And I said,
this,
that's great. I said, you should feel so good about that. Congratulations. It's an incredible accomplishment. Not a lot of people get in there. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad.
By the way, that's all true. It's really hard to get in there.
I know. And he's like, yeah, it's cool.
Just unimpressed with all of it.
All of it.
So he was over the moon.
Yeah, that is it. Just dancing and singing by Michael Rogers standards. Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out.